It looks like that shelf is about to fall out of my wall.
I
Oh
did
well.
hit start recording, so that's the start of the line. Shelves are falling. It's a storm.
Foreshadowing, dear audience.
Dear
There's a
audience.
literary device where a piece of
15 sessions from
15
now,
minutes in.
15 sessions from now, we're in a giant's house on their shelf battling something, and the shelf falls off the wall.
It's gonna take me 15 episodes to work that in. We are here. We are calling it Extra Steps because the whole concept for everybody was to make characters with extra steps. A ranger that's really a rogue, but like built a certain way, so it feels like a ranger. Stuff like that. We have cooperatively. Oh, that was loud.
Sorry.
This episode is sponsored by Dr. Pepper.
It's not.
So loud.
It's not. It should be.
Arya, you can't tell me that
Sorry.
you didn't do it as close
Yeah.
to your mic as possible
Yeah.
on purpose.
I really
You're trying to get
didn't.
out of the
Keep. This is a wonderful.
This is not sponsored by Dr. Pepper. That was a bit.
Yeah.
It's
Alrighty.
not even Dr. Pepper.
Who's gonna watch this?
Alrighty. Let's remember to hit our mutes if we have something loud we're doing with our mouths that isn't game related. Moving on. We're gonna go ahead and start. So we have built collaboratively the area of La Quacha. The word I asked my wife on what's the word for walking around, and she said something, and I was like, sounds like this. Okay, cool. So we are taking extra steps in building the characters, not straightforward like I'm playing a ranger. It's like, yeah, I'm playing a ranger, but with extra steps kind of thing. Each of the players created, or at least named, and had a basic concept for a city with the surrounding land features, and then we all put it together with, mine's over here, this works out with this, and then I made a map, and we've worked out a story with people's backstories, nice and all linked together. All that's in the backstory stuff that you'll probably never see if you're watching this, because why would I post that? But we're gonna get started. Last session, which we
My noise.
you gotta hit
My
the
noise
mute.
suppression's off.
yeah. Gotta.
Why is my noise suppression off?
I don't know.
Oh, y'all.
So last session,
Sorry.
part of the group that was trying to find basically some coins so they could get themselves bribed through a border crossing. And then one of the party members tried to just like hustle off and go make it around the long way. But they were the fastest, so they might be able to actually get there and make a difference in that way. The other three ended up in the swamps south of Falmere and found some kind of like fungus creatures, had on them a flask of Greg, the sentient ooze that is distilled into shots that the adventuring party can take to be able to telepathically communicate with a slight delay as Greg translates to his other branches.
As long as we are within 50 feet.
Yeah, within 50 feet was the mechanics on that. Edmund, our paladin, had a clever idea to kind of ensnare one of the creatures, pour some of Greg in. Greg ended up taking over this monstrosity, and the group is now walking back to town with this sentient ooze that has overtaken a fungal body that it's doing its best to form into a regular old humanoid I can pass as a person as we walk into this town. So the three of you are heading into town. Yes. Any point of orders?
I thought we had.
Yes, we had gotten
already
back to town and people had done some roleplay stuff and whatnot.
Yeah, we talked to a halfling who with an in their name that knew how possibly another way to get through the teleporters.
Yes, I had in a fever dream forgotten about the elder crotchety halfling who gave you
To be fair, I
advice.
don't blame you.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
didn't. I
Yeah,
told him my big old backstory secret. I don't
Yeah, yeah.
remember his name though.
that's true.
He said it's the third weirdest thing he's seen all week. Probably because I also did the timestamp on the last video.
Irmar. That was Irmar.
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 Thank you.
Or, excuse me, that was Irmar! That's how Irmar
Okay,
sounds. Anyhow, the evening's rest has happened. You all have some more coin in your pockets, ready to go. We want to clip over a little bit to Luna. So, Brenna, one thing I'd like you to do is to
Roll a death
roll a perception check for me.
Just the D20.
D20, you're proficient, I'm positive, so +2 plus your wisdom modifier.
That is a 7 because I rolled terribly.
That's awesome.
Rip.
You were able to dart. You're the fastest person in the party. You were able to easily make it all the way out to the small port town with your like half a day running ahead of the group, trying to catch a boat to get down to Leominster to cut off your friend before they make a horrible decision. You make it all the way down there, and you get down to the docks, and you can't seem to find a boat, any boat. There are some full-on docks that are, there's 4 or 5 different, like, going out into the water, wood struts, like docks, places where boats would attach. You see nothing anywhere. You keep running back and forth. There's a bunch of people there, like, kind of looking at you funny as you kind of run around. Finally, one of them catches you, and it's just like, what are you... I've seen you run back and forth across these docks like 3 times. What's happening?
Where are all the boats?
And there is this, like, kind of rotund Goliath man. Looks like tattoos to look like mutton chops have been, like, gone into the face. And he's just like, I mean, it's a low tide. There's no ships are coming in for another half a day. You can see, and he points to the horizon, and you can see ships that are, like, way out in the water. And he's like, on the lowest tide, especially this time of year, where the sun and moon are aligned, the double tide reduction is the lowest tide you're going to get in months. So,
And that's awfully inconvenient.
you're going to have no... I mean, if you swam out there, you could probably climb up the side, and if you had a few hundred gold, you could then pay them to skip their port. But no, you're not getting anywhere till morning, at least.
Well, that's a no to the swimming. So it's good to know I just wasted half a day for nothing. And then I just kind of start to head off and stop, turn around and go, thank you. And then turn around and walk back.
He's like, come to a stop, realize this is no faster than you would get just with doing whatever the group was going to do, and start marching your way back over to Fallmire, like Fallmire proper. So it's like, all right, well, have you seen a man in a fedora? You came all the way from Fallmire. Have you seen a man with a little hat like this?
Have I seen? I don't have. This is me. Have I seen?
No. Also, with the perception, definitely not.
The only hatted individual that you've known is me, and I'm wearing a giant hat.
No, I don't believe I have seen a man with a fedora.
All right. If you do, you tell him Marty has his money and is ready to clear his debt.
Marty, okay. I'll remember that, Marty.
I appreciate that. There's a mist coming in, so if you're gonna get all the way back to Fallmire, you should get going.
Right. Well, thank you for your help, I guess.
That sounded very forced.
I mean, Luna is full on coping with the fact that she just wasted her time.
Yeah. It was one of those.
Just half a day.
Yeah. It was one of those gambits where if she got a boat and got around, she'd definitely get ahead of her friends. But nah, it's not gonna work out. But yeah, you start like hustling your way back to Fallmire to try to link up with the group.
Just the entire time, just silently cursing under to herself. It's like, I can't believe I just wasted so much time. They're probably doing all these cool things that I'm missing out on because I had to go, and just basically just frustrated whispers to herself.
You get back to the Copper Clock, the adventuring tavern, and it's middle of the night, probably 2 a.m. Too late to really keep trying to hoof it in a given direction. Plus, it's a good idea to check in to see where they're at. Checking in at the front desk to kind of figure out where the group is at. There is a younger lizard folk woman in a nice little like a sundress, which doesn't super make sense with the weather right now. So a little off-season fashion essentially, and she's just like, oh yes, they went here and they're upstairs, sleeping. I think they had a little adventure or something. They came home with a little mud guy.
Intriguing. Well, I guess then I might as well go upstairs.
Yes.
And then just kind of head on up.
All right. You also getting your long rest. You get to kind of wake up and then find the group collecting in the morning. And you do see the mud person that they were the overnight staff was talking about, and it's this fungal, odd, kind of partially formed creature. It's very strange. It's just sitting there. It has a pristine backpack on. Went out in the middle of the night and bought a brand new backpack. With a supply pack kind of adventurer kit or whatever.
Where did he get the money? Did he get back pay?
You don't know
Don't
what
ask.
he did. The rest of the group had, yeah, the
He had a
rest
contract with Talia.
Yeah, the rest of the group last contact was went off to work out his contract with the Talia Copper Clock, who runs the Adventurer Guild, on because they do technically distill part of his consciousness for a whiskey basically that people drink to then get the telepathy power.
It was a hiring bonus.
Yeah, hiring bonus thing. But this kind of
I'm assuming that he just got back all of his back pay.
Yeah,
over
this
the
sort of
past few years.
toothless smile kind of looks over to you, and
Terrifying.
kind of vocal cords form under the skin to get sound out. And it's like, oh, hi, Luna. So, so I'm still working out these vocal cords. It's great to see you. It's Greg. It's Greg.
Just a wave of emotions. First, complete and utter confusion and terror. And then the recognition of it actually being Greg, and then immediate curiosity. How? What?
Oh.
When? Why? I need everything.
All the details, right. So I was sitting pretty in my flask, right, sharing consciousness inside of everyone's minds, and then Edmund had a great idea to pour me into a fungal creature, and then it turned out it's entirely neurons, and so I just got in there and started clicking them together, and I'm in control of them now. So I have a body.
Well, that's cool. That's the only thing that she can really get out. Just trying to process it all. Also, the second half of it being she wasted half a day, and all of her friends got to go and do this really cool thing and personify Greg. So it's just so much is going on, and the only thing she can get out is that's cool.
That's cool.
You miss out on the really neat field trip, and because you had to study, and then and then the test was canceled anyways, and
everyone had a pizza party. You weren't there.
Yeah,
and you were like, "Well, shit."
Right.
We had an assembly in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the worst. Then you were done with the assembly, and then you had to go back to school. Absolutely not.
Hmm.
So are we? Sorry, not to steal the scene from
yeah.
Brenna, because this is hilarious. Are we awake at this point, or
Yeah,
is it
everyone's
still, like,
up
we're
and has like come downstairs to like
Okay.
grab breakfast before they everyone decides what to do adventuring day wise.
I'd
Finn
like
is
to
like-
imagine.
Oh.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, Finn is like has his arms like kind of around his backpack protectively,
Mhm.
and like forgets that he's around people, and he's like kind of doing the weird warlock thing of like muttering to himself,
Mm.
trying to contact his patron, but no one can hear what he's saying because he's really quiet. And then suddenly realizes that Luna's been talking to Greg, and she's just like, "Oh, yeah, just Greg, yeah, that we were gonna tell you about that, but I think you might have already did you?
Yeah, I
you
got it.
You told.
I
Okay,
got
cool.
that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we'll work to that.
I look at Finn and I go, Greg, what? Still in complete utter disbelief.
I still don't believe it either, man. And I watched it happen. He like Edmund like they poured Greg on the thing we were trying to kill, and then it became Greg, and it's Greg.
It's Greg.
It's Greg.
I'm really
Edmund did that. That was really smart of them, though.
Yeah. That could have gone so many ways. So many ways.
It
Yeah.
could have, and
Yeah, likely.
That's really true. I actually am wondering if I'm going to like spore and like infect everyone around me in like an entire city process, and then take over like the entirety of the population, and then go forth and spread into like world domination. I don't think I'm gonna do that. It's not really in my wheelhouse or desires, you know.
Please try not to.
I'm gonna do my best.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
At least you're not trying.
Let's just keep that on the back burner.
But I do
that could
wonder
be,
if I like blow
plan
up and I end up like
Z.
in everyone, if they all like, connect and all that. You know what I mean?
I
No, you
mean,
would. You don't.
So that has to
Never
consent,
mind. This is a
right?
unique experience to my form of existence.
Yes, it is. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, that's cool though, buddy.
well,
Are
I
you
don't
okay,
even know how to
Marius?
think of that. I don't even know how to think about that. Oh yeah, Marius is here. By the way.
Mhm.
Marius is good out here.
Maybe don't do that, because while you may have control of this one, I don't know if you'd have control of all of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
you know.
totally a hive mind. He might.
Are you connected to a hive mind?
That's what he was.
I'm
Are
kind
you
of
still
a hive
connected to the
mind.
hive mind now? Now that you're in this form?
I mean, you all have what's the word I'm looking for? You've all have digested me fully, and so I'm no longer
Yeah.
like quite in your systems.
In your
you know.
heads. In our heads. Yes.
The fluid is like an anchor point, and once that passes through you, I'm not really around to make the connections anymore.
Right.
But here I'm like all fluids, and I'm right into the solids even, and I got to spread around.
Well, my question is, did you, before we passed you through fully, could you hear you in front of us? Could you hear what the Gregs in our heads were saying? Or could you just hear what people were saying out loud?
Well, I'm always Greg. I'm kind of all of us. We're all Greg. And so it's a
Right.
little bit like, you ever think to yourself with words? Well, I know you do. But yeah, when you think to yourself
Yes,
with
I do.
words,
Usually.
and some
So we
people
picture
think to
something.
themselves with like pictures. They don't think to themselves audibly. I was
Yes.
just thinking to myself audibly, essentially, is what was happening.
Interesting.
That does not answer my question, but that's
No.
very insightful, Greg.
It makes a
Thank you.
lot of sense to me because I've been in multiple people's brains, and
know,
I've seen how they all
Yeah.
work differently.
Right.
Like there's that one guy who barely metabolizes sugar, and like just a little at a
Aw.
time, just enough
I
to keep
wa-
things going.
I wonder now if maybe, if now that you're technically a fungus, if you can now establish more permanent connections within people's heads, but that
Possibly.
also may come
That's a
into
good idea.
that also may establish that world domination thing that
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know if I put the fungus in, if it's gonna grow, and then that's gonna like mess with the whole thing. Because when I was just ooze, I could just like slide in, slide out. But now if I'm sliding fungus in, I don't know. I don't
I
know.
feel like there's a story about how that could go really badly.
Probably around here somewhere.
I'm willing to give it a shot.
I'm
These are the
choosing
first words you
life.
hear Edmund say, by the way. It's like, hey, if you want
Yeah.
to experiment, I volunteer.
I think I'm gonna avoid it for now. You know, maybe in a future date.
That's probably smart.
I've had a
We do
body
still
for
have
less than a
hospital.
day. I'm not really interested in like poking around that body into other, you know, brains and stuff. Beyond my usual oozing. So yeah,
Oozing for a cruising.
oozing for a cruising. I'm gonna use that.
Amazing.
Oh, I have not made.
You didn't know it.
There's that thing you all do. Well, not all of you. You certainly don't. But like that thing you all do with like the body meshing. I should go like I could
Oh.
figure that out at some point.
Oh. I've been
Are
doing
you-
fire red.
Are you? Is he?
Ben's like, I gotta go.
Marius would look
excuse me.
over.
It's a
Marius would
routine.
look over at Finn and is just like, is he talking about what I think he's talking about?
Honestly,
Stop,
Some
please.
people already got funguses going on
Fingers.
down there. Right, Phil.
Oh,
Greg.
Yeah, Phil. Phil's already got some fungus going on down there.
I feel
Oh,
like you just revealed something about Phil that Phil probably
Sounds
didn't
like
want someone
private
to know.
that sounds
Oh
like
no,
private
he was cool with
information,
it.
Greg.
He wanted everybody to know.
He want.
He wanted, yeah.
So I think
It's in the notes in the
Okay.
back. I feel like we've gone off the rail here. That we don't need to go down
Yeah.
any further though.
Yes.
Oh, probably.
We have people to
probably.
help.
I was gonna say, don't you have
how early
friends
in
in
the morning
immediate
is this?
danger?
Good question
This is
about
a-
Blacklight.
This is a long chat if we're baking about Phil's fungus. No relation, by the way. But
We should
yeah,
probably talk about what we're going to do.
yeah, good on you. I'm gonna go do things with my body. I know that doesn't narrow it down at all. But it's a new thing for
Go
me.
experiment, buddy. You got this. Just
Yeah,
act-
but-
You do
send
you,
it to
Greg.
someone else.
You go do you, Greg.
Do I have to?
It's a figure of speech.
Oh, okay.
Not literally, Greg.
I mean,
I've only recently
Not
gained a
literally.
figure.
so.
Kind of slurps off and heads out the back of the booth and leaves you all to discuss what you're gonna do.
So how early in the morning is it right now?
don't die.
That's
I'm not sure.
the right pipe.
There's no need to talk about it.
Jesus Christ.
I've said that before. Wrong type.
You asked too quickly. He's stalling.
Well, our
you.
DM's our DM's dying. I'll take over.
Tiamat just descends from the sky.
No, Bahamut descends in the sky. You guys are an evil party. You're gonna fight Bahamut and kill him.
We're an evil party. It's news to me.
Not actual Bahamut, just an avatar of him. But
No actual Bahamut.
Well, no, I would
Just
upset the balance
realized-
of the universe.
Just realized the
balance,
overlay
balance.
mic continues when I mute on Discord.
Oh,
Oh
shit.
no.
Super
Oh
fun.
no.
Oh, God, it's we're gonna be like
Audio's great
treated
right
to
there.
that.
Oof. Right,
We didn't have to hear that.
Right. You gotta wait on that inhale until the soda's already passed by. What?
What time is it right now?
You're looking. It's pretty. It's like 9 in the morning. Basically, it's like pretty much first thing. Not first light, but it's pretty early.
Okay. How? My question is, how much gold do we have collectively?
Well,
Let me look.
how much gold did we each get last time from the
I
mission?
think you each got.
You said it was
50.
like
Yeah,
It was
the 3 of
50,
you got
yes.
50 gold
You
each.
got
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry.
messing with my wires.
I'm sitting at like a
I'll
pretty
start.
9.
Okay, that's not.
Get it? Because she wasn't there. We had a crowdfund.
Yeah.
I
But like
have
above
86.
table.
hmm
Go ahead.
No, I'm just adding it. I have 86 gold. Luna has 9.
I have 259.
259. That's
Damn.
more than enough.
I have 77, so I have enough for me.
77. Yes.
Plus
So
6 silver.
all in all, we have 431 gold in total.
Sweet.
Now I believe the
Teleportation.
fee to use the teleportation tower is 100 gold per person.
Per person.
Yes. So if we wanted to, we could absolutely cover that cost. But I don't know if we want to.
But why would we support? But it's clearly price gouging.
Yeah.
I disagree. I disagree. Now there is the option of, I believe,
The smuggling.
someone here, smuggling. Someone here has a contact, I guess is a word, that can help us get us through without much hassle.
I don't know that
Umar.
I contact, but
Wait, yeah, wasn't it Marius? Didn't you say that Marius knew
yeah,
somebody
Marius is.
that went
I know a guy.
through the teleportation circles often, Jeff?
That was
Yeah.
the guy.
You all
was
It
Sorry.
was
talked.
the halfling.
Yeah, you all
Yeah.
talked to Umar, and
I'm sorry.
He told us about some dude in a lion.
he told you who to
breastplate.
look out for to help you try to smuggle across. Now, basically, the smuggle across, from what he was saying, was it's like 50 to pay off the guy, and then but still 100 because you still need like the legitimate pass-through person,
Yeah.
and then some way to like smuggle people through. It sounds like they allow like carts and crates and stuff to go through for economic commerce and whatnot, and don't seem to charge extra for that.
And then there's always the possibility of going by ship as well. That's less fast than teleportation, but it's a lot faster than just walking through the swamp to the south.
I look at Luna and I say, "What was the deal with the ships?"
Apparently, the tide is low. It's the lowest it will be, and it'll be another half day. Well, I mean, probably now it would be fine, but
Okay.
needless to say, I wasted my time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You got to explore the wonders that is the city of Folmire.
No, that sucks though. I'm sorry. Really.
Well,
Yeah, I'm
it's-
sorry.
We're with us
Okay,
now, so
what can you do? C'est la vie.
What's that?
I
What's that
don't.
mean?
I don't know. I've heard somebody say it in passing, and it just
Is that
sounded
infernal?
cool.
I don't.
I don't
No,
know.
I know Infernal. I should know what that says.
I heard someone
Elvish, sorry.
say it in passing. Couldn't tell you what it means. It's probably a curse, but I've said it too many times now to take it.
If it isn't a curse, then it
So-
Well,
should
you guys,
be a curse.
obviously, it's the most famous fantasy language of all, French.
Ah,
They sound awful.
It's French anymore. God, didn't that die like 300 years ago?
Jeff, it's canon now.
Yeah,
It's
It's
canon.
canon, Jeff. We made it canon. I'm
French people
sorry.
died 300 years ago.
yeah.
No, the language.
Finally!
died. There might still be French people around.
Cut to an elf screaming at like a ruined Eiffel Tower. It's like, you covered it in butter! You covered it in butter, didn't
Jeff, can
you?
we make Les Mis canon?
Oh my god. We have to meet the elf who speaks French now.
Yeah,
Okay.
You find a play running that's just called The Miserables. Yeah.
The miserable.
Okay. Finn will kind of lean forward and go, "We can afford it, but that implies that we have to borrow from Marius because he's the one who's got all the gold. So there's that to consider. And I'm fine with it, but I also would feel kind of bad because I don't like owing people.
The way I see it, I do think the smuggling route is the way to go. My
Probably.
only issue with that is that we have, I mean, I point at myself and Marius and I say, we aren't particularly stealthy, that I will admit. And like, I kind of just stand up, shake my armor around, and it's like loud as hell.
What if you took off your armor? Then it could just be extra cargo.
That is
I
a
suppose.
possibility.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be a little uncomfortable.
very
but I'm
true.
not.
If you take it off, it negates the disadvantage, right?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Or
Whoa.
you could also disguise yourself somehow and be like bodyguards or whatever and pay the price. But
Well,
That might get too complicated, but I feel like we should go like all or, you know.
I feel like if we go the smuggling route, we'd need at least one of us to be the carry man, technically.
Mhm.
So I feel like you all would be able to hide yourselves, and because I, pardon my words, am a big bitch, I should probably be the one that does the transport, if that makes sense. And I have a spell that I can disguise myself with, make myself look like
Sneaky.
I don't know, a god from Lyminster or whatever. I don't know. Is that where we're going, Lyminster?
Yes. Yeah. You can also make yourself look like someone who already paid. Yeah.
That is okay. Oh,
But we'd have to find someone who has already paid and then dispose of them.
Man, them. You know, take your
Or,
clothes.
or one of us pays, and then whoever can disguise self just disguise themselves as that person. Two for
But,
the
well, I
price of
mean-
one.
Like, I could pay and then Marius disguises himself as me?
Oh, well, I should say the spell, it has its limits. I'm only able to make myself seem about a foot shorter.
And I'm significantly short.
Ah,
Yeah.
So
that might not work.
Hmm.
I have a question
Mhm.
for DM. Do we know what exactly the process is? Like, is there like an onboarding process, or do we just walk up like, hey, I'm paying for myself and all of this cargo? Do I just walk in, or is it like
Roll me a history
How much
check.
TS?
Yeah.
How much airport security is there at the
Yeah,
top of
yeah.
the
Yeah.
Circle
Well,
DM?
what's the PSA
what's the
look like?
fantasy TSA like?
Yeah.
Thank you, I forgot to-
His
How in
History,
depth
you
is the
said?
security theater in D&D?
that's gonna be a 15.
15? I'm gonna say
history, yeah.
you've used the service before, and so you're generally aware that there's like a check-in almost outside the tower, and you kind of pay your thing, and they just let you past the gate. And then if you've gotten past the gate, the assumption is that you paid, and once you get through there, it's not like multiple checks. There's just like a check, you pay, you go through, and you know that upwards of like a full wagon is like a little is like another 50 gold for like a horse and wagon. It's considered like another creature, but though it's not a but basically creatures going with you are an extra 50 gold, and then they pull a cart to go with, and that's how you see a lot of stuff transport through. And it is essentially like sigils that glow through an arch, and like it's like a 10-foot wide arch on the inside of the tower that then it activates, and then they set groups to go through at once.
It's the subway.
And so you kind of queue up, and then once it's time to go, a wizard casts a spell, and the whole thing glows, and then people transport through.
And once we are through, is there another check to leave?
You just come out the other side, and you've the one time you've done it, there was no other secondary check. It was just you go through. Once you're past the gate, there's not really any checks going on, unless you would have seen that there are like guard type figures walking around on the interior, but you have never seen someone get like pulled out or pulled away or anything like that. So as far as you're aware, it's you get past the gate, and then you get in and go queue up and go.
How thorough are the checks?
It's just like one check, and it's just a I would say with a 15, you saw someone's cart get like they lifted up the tarps, to look inside, and then just waved them through, and it sounds like that's you want to wait for the guard with the lion on the shirt is the information you got on the previous day, and you want to palm him 50 gold, and then he'll just like wave you through without doing the checks for in the cart.
Okay, that clears up my understanding a lot.
Mhm.
So if we do take this route, our net loss is pretty much 100 to pay for Marius to pass through, and then the 50
You
to
pair him off.
that we pawn
Mhm.
off to the guard.
50 per person, but it's still
100.
it's
Flat 50 to just not inspect was the.
Yeah,
so
so
100
if
for
we-
one person to get like a legitimate pass,
Oh.
and then 50
Okay,
to that
yeah.
particular guard to just
So
not
that's-
inspect and let you walk through.
that's 250, which would as opposed to 400 for going through legitimately. So that's a 150 gold savings.
So 150 total should be your if you can make that work.
We just have to
I
find
don't
a
care if I'm
car.
cheap, so-
We just have to find someone who would allow us to
Or get a
smuggle
cart.
people on
Yeah.
the car. Oh, get a car.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah.
I wonder if Talia is making a delivery here soon. Maybe. Well,
You should
Or
probably
we could
ask her
just-
to leave.
Sort of an adventurer town too. There are wagons and horses and donkeys
Yeah.
and things to grab.
yeah.
I am not opposed to just going out. Excuse me. I'm not opposed to just going out and asking if someone would be willing to, let us pass through on their
That'd
own wagon.
That'd have to be something
You
that
know, right?
that'd have to be something that we'd have to trust them not to say something as well.
I feel like we're overcomplicating it. Like,
We might be.
yeah.
It's the door. It's a door from Critical Role.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of
This is our
planning
door.
and discussion for how are we gonna get through this door.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
Can we just
Classic
buy a
door.
wagon? Can we just buy a wagon with say hey, it's
Yeah.
an investment?
just grab a wagon.
Oh, but then we have to track where it is and go back to it.
Yeah.
We could. But there's that.
We have Greg to man it, I suppose.
That's
He
true.
is traveling with us, right?
I'm actually gonna
At the
look at
moment,
Greg
he's
and
not
say,
with
"Are
you."
coming with? Oh,
think
Yeah,
Greg's
he's gone.
slipped
Yeah, he's
off.
not with us.
slipped
But
away at
I'm,
one
I'm
point
making
here.
the assumption that he is traveling with us.
Right.
I mean, if you
Is he?
if you take a shot at Greg, you could probably ask him real quick.
Yeah, but
can we
that's.
just go find him?
Oh wait, I could just buy a shot
Yeah,
of
we
Greg.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll buy a shot of Greg just for now, but I'll also buy another flask of Greg because we used one dose
Gotcha.
earlier.
Mark off.
How
next
much?
goal.
Okay, I know a flask is 5 gold pieces. How much is a shot?
A shot is just 1 gold piece.
1 gold piece. Great. Okay, so I am down 6 gold pieces.
Right.
Marius is also gonna buy one for himself just because he wants to
Gotcha.
take one.
And yeah,
It's
you
good.
do feel and
No.
something I may not have narrated properly last time. You take the shot and drink it down, and there is a burn that would remind you of drinking alcohol, but it is not. It is actually just the acidic nature of an ooze. So it is more a little bit more on the heartburn side versus just the
Drinking
like
acid.
liquor.
Quite literally.
Yeah. But then yes, Greg gets into your system and does the whole, oh hi, oh I was gonna be back in a little while, but yeah, what do you need?
What are you planning on staying here, Greg, or would you mind accompanying us?
I got this whole body which I need to explore, obviously. But I do want to explore the world, the thing that bodies do. And every body I've ever been inside does end up going on a bit of a walk around. So I think I'm gonna do the walking around with my own legs this time. What? Do you mind if I just peek around in your brain and try to figure out what you're trying to ask?
Sure, just don't pick around too much.
Oh, I got it. All right. So, yeah.
ahead.
So y'all
Have the
need
rest
a
of it.
cart guy, right? Somebody to drive the wagon, make sure the horses don't get mauled by, a vicious zebra or whatever.
How many vicious zebras have you come across?
Oh man. Not only the fur is striped, let me tell you that. Anyways,
Wait, what? No, what
It'd
if
be
you
like Greg is compiling bits and pieces of various adventurers' memories, and the vicious zebras is where he's logged in on.
I'm sure there's a vicious zebra somewhere.
Yeah,
in the
dire
universe.
zebras.
maybe a rabbit one.
So, it's like, yeah, totally. Why don't we go get a cart? We could even make some modifications, like a false floor or something. If you want something like that, you might have to go down to a thieves guild or something, and like try to figure out something, like a little smuggler trick or something like that. But yeah. Unless you want to try to build it yourself if you're a carpenter of some kind.
Well, I'm not opposed to making it myself. I think. Sorry, go ahead.
Also, time is of the essence. I don't even know if you have time to go get nails.
Yes.
I have a question. With my back, probably not. But I'm just trying to see if this would work. With my background, would I reasonably probably be able to maybe make like a false floor or something in a wagon?
Not automatically, but you could certainly try. You don't have a wagon at the moment, though.
No. I do know someone else who used to be a pirate as well. I'm gonna go talk to Talia real quick.
Sure.
Oh, whoa.
Talia, easy enough to find. She's usually with her using her enchanted wheelchair to roll around. She's usually outside at this point, doing meet and greets with vendors and people who are coming in and out of the city and seeing what is the new cool thing that's being sold by some traveling merchant. Is everybody else following along with Marius or hanging in the bar?
I don't want to separate from the group, but I do have a few minor errands I want to take care of. So
Right.
I think Edmund will take care of that now and be like, okay, we'll rendezvous here in 5 minutes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
So anybody else heading with Marius?
I think the only one unaccounted for now is Luna.
Right. Nope.
I think I'm
What's
probably
Cat
just
doing?
gonna walk,
Walking
around the bar.
just walking around.
Being the, just literally just, how cats will just walk around houses and just kind of look and then just be their own self. That's exactly what Luna's doing.
Right. Doing the tabaxi cat thing.
Basically.
Yep. But yeah, Marius, you track down Thalia pretty quickly.
Hey, Talia.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Is it how to start?
We're not.
Is it how to start adventuring? Because it was supposed to start yesterday.
No, it's
He's
not.
trying.
I'm trying. We're planning on leaving today. Would you possibly? Is there anyone around us?
I mean, it's a hustle and bustle, city, so there's people walking around. But there's not a person standing with her, listening in.
All right.
There's people going about their
Would
business.
you possibly be able? Is there any sort of deliveries that you need to be making here soon? Because we have an idea on how to get to Lyminster, and that would be very useful.
It would be, but it would really defeat the purpose of me kicking you out of the nest. For you to utilize the nest more.
I guess that makes sense.
I'm also
Consider it a
not going to
favor.
be sending along some of my finest guards with you to help fight in case you get into trouble. Go, do the things. Go do the things. You have plenty saved up. You've got your weapons and armor. You're ready to go.
Well, it was worth a shot. Do you know any good wagon vendors in town, then? I've lived here for 5 years. Why don't I know this?
Yes,
You've been-
I'm not from here.
Well, frankly, you've done a lot of drinking. If we're really gonna get into it.
You know what? That's fair.
We could go look around. Ben is like
Um,
desperately trying to like soothe the like these two just like this weird like mentor kid not kid but like mentor mentee dynamic, and he's just like, can we just like what if we just go? Sorry to bother you, Miss Copperclock. Let's go, Marius.
No, it's fine. It's it depends if you want just a straight wagon. Talk to Kelly at the edge of town. She's got her horses and the wagons over there. If you need something a little more nefarious purpose or specialized, you want to talk to Disan. So,
Alright.
I'm assuming you need to go talk to Disan.
Perhaps.
Yes.
If
If you were just gonna start walking, you would have started yesterday. So go talk to Disan. And so
thank you.
the dwarven man with half a beard.
Half a beard.
Ooh.
How is it?
Vaguely intrigued.
How is it half a beard? Is it like a vertical cut beard? Is it like a?
I think you would know. You would have seen Disan, or at least you'd recognize it when she says half a beard. There's a dwarf who has like a good foot and a half long beard, but half the face is scarred from some sort of like monster attack previously in his life.
Cool.
And
So
so
I
there's
was
no hair
insensitive.
growing on like that side. And he keeps the patchy stuff that does come in like trimmed, just because it looks really weird if he were to like grow it all the way out.
That's fair.
And so but he does have
Alright.
like half a beard that comes down really bushy. And it's sort of a thieves guild guy who kind of provides transport and whatnot.
All right. Thank you, Talia.
You bet. Now go. I can't emphasize enough go. You hit the road, do the thing.
Marius,
Thanks,
go.
ma'am. Bye.
rolls off and then checks in with a vendor who has just like an entire rack of purple cloaks, and it just does one of those like what even is all this? It's one of those like, you came here just to sell purple cloaks, what's going on here?
Purple was worth its weight in gold in the past.
Yeah, at the time.
That's true.
As we're walking away,
We're walking
Marius just sighs. Just
You okay?
yeah, it's
Kind of mean to you. I get it, but like it was also a little, you know.
it's.
I have the opposite problem, by the way, but I sympathize.
Yeah, I mean, I respect the shit out of her. She's done nothing but be helpful since we left our situation 5 years ago. But it's just
You might cut out on me.
Oh, you cut out.
it's just hard. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get it. Believe me, I don't want to get into why, but whatever happened to you, I don't know. I feel like we both went through really hard shit. Yours was a little further back. Mine was a little recent, but like, I get it, man. Like, you don't have to explain it to me. I can. It's kind of corny, but I can see it on your face that like we have that in common. And yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. You've probably seen way more than I have for reasons I
It depends. I guess our situations may be different, though similar, and caused us to see different things, but it is what it is.
Is that what say lovey means? What Luna said? Is that what
Like,
that
I
means?
don't.
Who doesn't know?
Right.
just like hearing my name just come across the bar and I'm like, guys, did you see that person's selling purple cloaks?
Luna has since wandered out into the street, and there's just purple
Is that my name?
cloaks.
I literally have purple hair. I should get a discount.
Wait, so Luna just kind of walked up next to us?
It was just wandering around and then like it spotted you, ran over. Did you see them selling purple cloaks?
As Luna approaches,
Yeah.
Marius
Hi,
just
Luna.
kind of like jumps a bit, just like, oh, fucking shit. Hi.
We did see the purple clothes.
I-
We were. Oh, go ahead.
I was just say I just look up at Marius and go, oh, sorry about that. That happens a lot to me. Anyways, but
You're
yeah, the person
fine.
just selling purple cloaks. It's awesome. I don't know what I do with a purple cloak, but it's awesome.
I mean, you wear it. That's what you usually do with cloaks. I don't know if you want to do something else, but
Hey, Edmund! 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 They're right outside and they're talking about stuff. One of them figured out where to get a car.
Oh, great, awesome. So I don't need to
cool.
do that then.
It's one of as you all are getting near the bar. Greg
Greg the plot
is
device.
like, Greg's
Blobs.
like, hey, come on. You do see Greg come out come out from behind the bar with what can only be described as like an extraordinarily gaudy ring on like a finger that he's recently
Ooh.
grown and like made make use of.
He got his own ring.
He got a ring.
Which ring did he
It's like a
get?
giant signet ring. It's not one that you all recognize, but it's this just giant like it's like a shield like coat of arms, and it's big enough that it has like details on the inside of like a knight in full plate and a spear, and then like a peacock and a bell on the other side. So it's this
Interesting.
massive
That
like
does
ring
seem
to like
very
press on
gaudy.
something. Yeah, it's huge.
ring.
It's way bigger than it should be for any kind of ring. It's one of the like you can't wear other rings with it. It's such a like wide like piece of metal. But
Is that a ring or a pair of knuckles?
oh hey, so yeah, Edmund's on the way down. Sounds like we got a place to go for to get a wagon. I
have a
will
couple.
now. I can't stress enough. If I get exploded, I could take over the world. And I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna stay in the wagon, and like work the horses and or whatever we're riding with, and then like watch your cooking utensils and things you leave in the wagon. But I'll let you all go off to the place where things get exploded. Yeah.
I don't know what kind of check this would be, but can Finn try and do a little bit of thinking as to whether it would be physically possible for Greg to pull the wagon himself?
Make a nature check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I good at this? Probably not. Let's see.
Yeah, because if we don't have to
Okay,
pay for
plus
Greg,
here it
then
is.
that'd be-
Just a straight roll. Here we go.
Mhm.
Oh, I rolled an 18. Oh, sorry, 16. Excuse me.
16? You don't think so. It's a medium-sized creature, on the smaller side, a little shorter than you.
Okay.
You know,
Good
could
shot.
drive the cart. But
he couldn't
not
like
gonna
possibly
pull a wagon.
morph into a horse.
yeah, he's not gonna morph into a horse. So
That half horse we had.
yeah,
We
yeah.
should have gotten the half horse, not this
Get
one.
him some druid
Alright.
levels so he can become a horse to pull the wagon.
Mm. So we're probably going to likely have to. We're probably likely going to have
We gotta
to
get horses too.
pay for Greg as well. So that's
Oh no,
200.
that's don't
Yeah.
worry about paying for Greg. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll be all right.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah, I mean, look what
Oh
I
wait,
can do.
you got money.
No, look what I can do. Throws like the backpack like on a hook on the wall, and then just like sticks to the wall and like stretches up, and no longer even looks humanoid. It's just like a rectangle of like matter, and then forms back into like a humanoid shape, and then grabs the backpack.
Sorry. Because he's a plasmoid.
Oh, yeah.
Plasmoid,
That's
yeah.
cool. Okay.
Oh, shift around, do
Finn
whatever.
is like delighted. He's like, well, shit, that's cool. Sorry.
That's
That's cool.
useful. That's useful.
I mean, shoot, I'm sorry.
You've got a porta Greg?
Porter Greg. Oh, that's a great idea. Hey, make some of me into a port, so it can be a Porter Greg.
Oh,
No, a port.
took me a second.
No, hey, all right, you will get loaded up. I'm gonna be right back. No, a port. And like walks off to like try to
Wait.
direct somebody.
Right. Well.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
so if
we
we're
have a
getting-
couple people that we need to talk to.
Yes, we're
Yeah,
getting a wagon. Are we still paying just the 50 to like skip the inspection?
I feel like that's the plan here.
Okay. Cool. Just making sure.
We had a question for.
Yeah, this is just super minor. Would Edmund have had time to go like buy some stuff?
Yeah. If you got some PHB material you want to throw up some gold on, go for it.
I want to buy wood carver's tools, and I also want to buy painter supplies.
Totally doable. Yep.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you.
And I don't know if we mentioned this, but we kind of go on
wait,
mildly
I have
inspired
tools.
by the Baldur's Gate 3 dynamics with like how thieves' tools work, where if you fail, you can break them, and then you need to get new ones. Is like the idea. So it's one of those like fail by 5 is kind of the marker on that. So if you're doing a painter supply thing and you really mess it up, you may have ruined your paint supplies to a point where you've drastically reduced how useful they are. Same with like wood carver's tools and whatnot. But yeah, hopefully it won't come up. Hopefully you roll just fine. It's pretty hard to mess up an entire wood carver set with one bad.
Hearing
one bad
that
work.
phrase from a DM is terrifying. I hope you roll fine.
Should be fine.
Good nerd.
All right, so you all load up. Greg comes back after or catches up to you all as you're heading out into the city, heading eastward to supposedly where this Disan is, and from Marius's direction, kind of knowing the city, knows to basically go over there, but then hang a right into a shadier kind of alleyway. You do find a what looks like a hole in the wall, kind of like shady underground bar in the back of an alley, but it has like big horse carved into the front door, which Marius knows to knock and knows very little else beyond that point.
Got it.
Good.
It's a knock and one of the wood slide overs and some eyes like look out.
What's up?
Several things.
What's up?
That's the password. Welcome in.
I'm cool. I'm hip with it.
Cool.
What's
I look
the
at Luna and I'm very quietly like, we're doing illegal stuff. Just like really
So
really
excited.
quiet.
It's crimes.
We're looking for Dasan.
Yeah. Do you have pre-planned business or is this a new contract?
Likely a new contract.
All right.
I don't know why I said likely.
That's where I was getting never mind. The thing shuts and the door opens up. And you do see this dwarf fellow with a beard that's has like, it seems inspired by the half beard, but doesn't have like a claw mark or whatever, and the stubbles come in a good like half an inch. Clearly just shaves to match every once in a while.
Okay.
But has like a half a beard.
That's
It's like, I'm on.
All right.
Gestures you all in. And you see a relatively active bar going on, but you all do get eyed pretty hard. Like music kind of stops as you all enter the room. And when we say underground bar, it's literally like you went down steps and you're under some other establishment. But
Love that.
pretty quickly, there's a
and
quick size up of adventurers, and then things pick up again. People keep talking.
okay.
All right.
Over at the bar, you can see who's probably Dasan. This dark-haired, big scraggly beard, but again, just half with large scars on half the face. Just kind of talking seriously with this. Looks like an elf who's like awkwardly postured, bent way down to talk to him. Yeah, for Luna.
This is just mostly because I like Luna's very aware, like can be aware of her surroundings, but also cannot be aware of her surroundings at the same time. Coming into this new place and having everything stop,
Mhm.
she's very like, oh, this could be potentially dangerous. Can I just do like an overall perception check of if there's anybody in here that will cause an issue?
Sure.
Just
Give me an insight check because you're not like looking for anyone hidden. You're just kind of sizing people up
Okay.
quickly.
Take some
I was
guidance.
gonna ask for that. I was gonna ask for that as well. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure how to phrase it.
Go
But
for
like,
it.
I just
Well,
want to
I
get
rolled
most people in
a-
the room.
Yeah, roll that insight.
I rolled a natural 20
Nice.
What? We didn't
That's
explode.
good.
We gotta
Moon's
roll
back.
again.
for a.
Are we doing that or we're not?
Oh yeah,
Should we-
explode. Roll your d20
roll
again. You roll it again and add it to the total.
Okay, so I with my modifier was a 21,
Mhm.
and then plus 14 is a 35.
Explode.
so
Yeah.
I don't get to roll again.
35.
And a D4 from.
Um,
yeah, sorry.
Or just a little extra
30,
on there.
37 from with the D4.
nice. 30 so the d4 from 37. That was the kicker. You do a quick scan of the room. The thing that you catch that probably nobody else would have is that there is a man in the back corner in a fedora, and because you've been on the lookout for somebody in a fedora, and just like the very like thin goatee, has some sort of like has like a backpack on, kind of like adventurers, but it's got like extra pouches on it. Seems to be carrying a fair amount of stuff. Has a I would say a staff, but it's almost like it doesn't seem like it's built for battle or anything. It's got a bunch of weird like slits and like it's just put together weird. You kind of get the vibe of like a traveling salesman kind of thing, but is like kind of talking very succinctly. And you do catch that he is completely eyeing your party. Everyone else kind of looked over at you and then went about their business. He is looking right at you and is making it seem like he's not, but is fully locked in on your group in a way that is like intensely, this person is watching you and tracking you all.
Mm.
Mm.
Man with fedora. That's all that Luna says, just kind of quietly.
Mhm.
If any of them are here are paying attention, that's just man with fedora. That's it.
What? Hello? Did anyone else hear that? Are you okay,
Huh?
Luna?
What are you
Oh, I'm
talking about?
great.
I thought I was weird, but are you?
Um,
I'm doing great. So
Marius, you do see Disan straight ahead
Alright.
at the bar. Kind of like sees you, kind of vaguely recognizes you, but kind of wraps up an interaction quickly and just kind of like hand waves away the elf who was talking to him, who kind of gets like rolls their eyes and walks over to go take a seat at one of the tables, and then just sits up on the bar stool, kind of waiting for the next business opportunity to come by.
Darian. Marius Marius would
Hilarious, only in chat.
before approaching Dasan would turn around and be just like, I'm not the absolute best at talking to people, so if any of y'all are able to be helpful with that, feel free to jump in.
I'm okay talking to people, but this is not my scene. As close as
I
I'll be.
think
You're probably the best to handle it, I think. Because you're
I got it. I
I
can.
got it.
I mean,
You
I'm
go.
very
We all-
charismatic.
Yeah.
probably more
above
charismatic
table.
than you, Luna.
Above table, I have a +6 to persuasion.
Yeah.
Nice.
Above
Oh,
table,
well-
I have a -2 to most things charisma.
Yeah.
I
Edmund's
have an overall +2 to charisma, so
yeah.
Edmund's probably the.
Edmund has had the sort of the the shining light on the hill thing going on, where your eye gets kind of drawn to just the presence and authority that they
Yeah.
have.
I mean, do you see him? He's, tall, imposing. He has the mask. At this point, he's already
Yeah.
changed seasons, so now he's wearing the tiger mask, which is like, sharp teeth,
Hmm.
imposing stripes. I feel like most people. He's honestly surprised that he didn't get more looks. Like everyone looked at him and was like, okay, whatever. He was
Right.
like, oh, okay.
Hmm.
I guess there's
that's
more
better than usual.
mask wearing vigilantes. I guess
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
more mask wearing vigilantes out here than I thought there was.
We saw someone with the blue mask from Avatar: The Last Airbender. We're like, oh, there's other mask people in here.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Yeah.
Edmund kind of takes the lead, walking up.
Marius would
I
also
do have
approach
a
it.
question.
Sure.
I ask only because I want to make sure that we're on the same page about how the logistics of this specific spell works. Charm person.
Charm person?
If I were to cast that now, everyone would be aware that I am casting that, right?
The hand motions and everything involved, everyone would be like, you're casting a spell. And then anyone around would be like, they're suddenly very friendly to this person who just cast a spell. It would be, it's not always super useful in a tavern scenario where there's a whole bunch of people
that's
watching.
what I figured.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, I'll take the lead. I'll come up to this Dasan fellow. What are we asking for again?
Y'all are trying to get a wagon and like donkeys or horses or something so that you can, but something designed to smuggle so that you can smuggle to get through the teleportation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. What's the best way to go about this? You guys are gonna have to help me because if I have to think of this for myself, we're gonna be here all night.
Yeah, Marius is still willing to talk. He's just in a situation where he has to make a charisma roll. He's not going to excel.
From like halfway across the bar, there is a shot of like, I see you all strategizing. Walk up.
I'm saying.
Great. Yeah.
Ask him.
I'll follow along. I'll walk up. Yeah.
Yeah, Marius would walk up as well. I'm assuming Marius has seen Dasan in the Copper.
Yeah,
Clock
like
before.
in passing, like not a regular or anything, but has been there before, seemingly having business with members of the guild and all that.
All right. Marius would walk up and he's just like, Dasan, right? Yes. I'm assuming that it's a contract that I have to make with you whenever it comes to this, but we're looking for like a wagon that would be able to
That was quite a journey for I'm looking for a wagon. What do you need in particular?
It needs to be able to smuggle people.
Sure. All right. How many?
Marius would look to the other three. Three.
What about that shambling mound that's like hanging out by the coat rack?
He can.
You see Greg just like
the shambling mound, yes.
Including the shambling mound.
All right. Those usually just hop into a bucket or something.
He's not going to be a problem. He'll just be.
Yeah.
Sorry, you guys are handling this. Just like whispering behind.
Yeah, he won't be a problem. But
Gotcha.
there are three that we would have
Sticks his
to.
head like around Edmund, just like.
So the tall one and the one of the tall ones, plus the other two, and you need this place to look passable.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. In case it does get inspected.
All right.
Just in case.
How are all of you with enclosed spaces?
I'm fine.
Great.
I can manage.
We got no problems then. All right, we're gonna set you up with a wagon. We're gonna get you a couple of crates, a couple of long crates that can fit you all. You're gonna need a cover, some kind of thing you're transporting that would necessitate long crates. So, weapons are a good one. Grab a couple of pikes or something from a blacksmith, throw them on top, and you're all set. But it's up to you. Weapons sometimes bring extra attention that you don't want, but that's not my business. So, I would recommend war horses if you're really looking to get into the thick of it, but those often bring extra attention, so a donkey's fine. Up to you though. It depends how much you want to spend. If you want to throw a couple of elephants in a row in front of it, that's on you. What's with you now?
I think elephants are maybe a bit eye-catching.
Fair enough. Let's Luna trying to check out.
So this is for anybody who wants to kind of, I mean, if you have a passive perception higher than 7, you'll probably pick up on this. but I rolled for deception because Luna is in fact her fear is small enclosed spaces, and she was just trying to act brave. Just
really,
to
anyone
No.
on
Just-
Insight?
Remember that from your profile? I was like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
Hold on a minute.
No, I after I said it, I was
You
like,
rolled for
I
it.
don't think that's correct. So this is me just rolling and like, yeah, no.
I thought I'd remembered
obvious.
someone did, and
Yes,
but I couldn't.
yes,
I
yes.
wasn't enough on the game to piece together who I was thinking
Yeah.
of. So yeah,
So
everyone's got
that's
that
on me
insight.
for not remembering, but yeah.
All right. So
I
fully
mean, Marius'
enclosed.
passive insight is 12, so
Yeah. So fully enclosed spaces are totally fine with everyone here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does he pick up
Sure.
on that? Because I mean, that deception was pretty bad.
Roll
Does he
insight
pick
for
up on
me.
that? Nat 20.
Oh yeah, he fully is aware that
Plus 12.
yeah, plus 12. He's fully aware that Luna's lying and doesn't care. You do notice, as you just kind of
Oh,
keeping an
exactly.
eye out of the bar, there is there's a man roughly like 6'3", now standing at full height. Luna, though you spotted him before, he was kind of sitting at one of the bars or one of the tables, but at standing up at full height is getting like a 6'2", 6'3", with like the thin goatee and the fedora on, and is clearly waiting to talk to the group, but is like just out of earshot. But you get the vibe of like someone who's trying to walk up to talk to you, but sees that you're already talking to somebody and is holding off for a moment.
I will match his gaze,
Mm-hmm.
and then I will return to the conversation at hand, just silent acknowledgement.
Right. But yeah,
right.
so let's see. All in all, customizing the crates, we don't have to do a claustrophobia adjustment, so that saves you a little bit of coin. But wagon with the crates modifications.
Gonna do great, Luna.
And
Oh.
how much would a claustrophobia adjustment be?
Out of curiosity.
Yeah, so that just allows you to have a little gap in the floorboards, so that your face is in the underneath of the wagon, so that you're not fully sealed off. You have air and you can see land. It really helps people that have problems in tight spaces. But if you don't need that extra carving, it'll save you a few gold.
Well, just
How
out of
much?
curiosity, how much
Ah.
gold would that possibly
Yeah.
be?
I mean, it's just an extra 10 gold, and get the carpenters to make the modification.
Bad?
But
But
you all
that,
said you didn't
that is
need
fully
it.
lying.
Y'all just didn't need it at all, so we can skip that, and I'll finish doing my calculations since none of you needed that.
I'm gonna look at Luna and be like, it's now or never. I'm not gonna say it out loud.
Yeah,
That's
but
sort
it's
of
a little
what
like-
it's now or never.
We all know, kind of thing.
We all know.
He even knows.
He's clearly like
I'm
rubbing it in a
trying
little
to-
bit too every time
I'm
he says
trying
it.
to give her the dignity
Yeah,
of
yeah.
at least admitting a fault.
What, dear?
I think at this point, Luna is just she doesn't ever really go back on anything, and so she's at this point she's just like, well, I have royally messed up, but you know what?
You know what?
Does anyone ever
Sorry.
have like urination issues where they need a hatch to pee out of on mid-transit?
Edmund's
Uh,
gonna pop up. Like,
all right.
not. He will interrupt and he'll be like, "We'll take the adjustment. We'll take the extra 10 gold."
All right, sounds like a really good idea. So wagon adjustment on that, and gonna get the crates.
Luna looks to Edmund and just kind of like gives like a silent like nod as like a thank you.
Thank you.
Because
Aw.
she knows
Cute.
she knows they know,
Aw.
and it's just like
It's,
Aw.
Friendship.
Do. I
Oh,
was looking for a thing. Do. Nope. Okay.
We must
So
be
that's gonna
incredible.
be an extra, an extra 5, and a 4, maybe 50 gold, and then you're looking for regular donkeys, or you want some more advanced kind of animals to help you out?
Donkeys are fine.
Donkeys
yeah.
should be fine.
All right. Sometimes a little tough to control, but you know, if you can, cheapest option. So you are looking at a cool 70 gold pieces, to get all
Okay.
set up and good to go. So we've made sure to carve off any indications of maker and all that. Sometimes they get wise to our goings on. So you got your 70 gold.
Is
I
there?
would like.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I would like to roll to see if he's not tacking on some bullshit like.
Yeah. We'll call it a persuasion check. I'm tempted to make it an int skill, but no, that's fine. Persuasion.
I mean,
It's sort of math,
Uh,
but but it's but also just a
well,
sense
yeah,
of it. But
'cause
yeah.
I don't. All I know is that we're playing +10 for the claustrophobia and
Right.
the donkeys. I don't know what else he's added
Adding.
on.
Right.
Yeah. Take a D4.
Yeah,
Mhm.
D4. Cha. 15 on the die plus guidance.
Nice.
What skill was it again?
Persuasion.
Persuasion. That's
Yeah.
going to be a 21.
21. You feel like
Yes.
you are tracking the interaction. He is sort of a salesman, as well as just like a shady business guy. But you're not picking up on any weird tack-ons. Like he's saying them out loud to go through them, and the math is lining up. Where it's like
Everything
30,
seems fair.
35 base wagon. We need to get 10 gold to the carpenter for his time, and the modifications was going to secure the barrel and crates, or barrels and crates to make sure that they work as disguise pieces for you with with the air hole option and that, and like he's going through it all. Probably adds up to like 65. But then he just went to 70. He didn't out loud say and my fee. He just sort of moved on to what the total would be. But the
I mean,
and my
that's
fee
fair.
wasn't like a huge crazy amount or anything.
Like I saw Goodman tax on like a little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
like a
Like if he
percentage.
owed you a personal favor or something, you feel like you could save a few gold, but it's
Yeah.
not like a ton.
No, that's fair. That's understandable. Okay.
Mhm.
I mean, if everyone thinks that's fair,
That seems
I
fine
will,
to me.
Darius, because that's all of my money, so I'm assuming he's gonna pay.
yeah. No, I
Yeah,
was literally
no.
just
We just all turned to Marius like,
no legit. Edmund's gonna nod and be like, Marius.
Marius would dig in his bag into like the little gold pouch he has, and then pull out the 70 gold and put it on the counter.
Kind of counts it out really quick and pockets it, and it's like, all right, and does a wave over and quickly relays that to one of the bar workers as well. We'll have it pulled up
I
out
will
front for you.
also-
3 buildings down, look for the red flag. That's what you're gonna pick up.
How
3 buildings
fast?
down.
3 buildings
How
down,
s-
look for a red flag.
How soon would this be done, if you don't mind my asking?
He looks over his shoulder as somebody walks out the back of the bar and goes, I mean, you should probably go wait for it.
Fair enough.
I'll also slip this on just 10 gold pieces out of my own pocket as a favor.
As
Not
like,
as a favor, but like
like a tip.
you're a cool person. You're a cool guy. Yeah, that's a tip.
Looking for some.
what's mad about that?
I gotta tell you, coin's a good way to earn my favor. Best way to earn my favor is favors.
Right. As someone who has spent most of his life in the Feywild, I think you understand the importance of favors. Favors between friends.
Tell you what, I don't like having debts on my ledger. So let me just tell you, watch out on the road. There was a plucky adventuring party came through and took down a necromancer a few days ago. Really bragged about it on their way in, but the thing about when you take down a necromancer is all its legion just kind of scatters. So be on the lookout. Might have to have. I don't think any paladins or clerics have run through the land yet to clear it out of any stragglers. So watch out for the rowdy ones.
Much appreciated.
Thank you, sir.
Indeed.
And Finn very quietly, as we're like going to like go to talk to the new person, just goes, "Man, my parents were right. The world is full of evil people, including necromancers. Shit."
I mean, it's only a necromancer. It's only dead things.
Why are you listening? I'm talking to myself. Stop that.
I didn't realize you were talking to yourself. I apologize.
Mama's right.
Then,
The
I
world's full
retract
of
my statement.
the world's full of evil necromancers and zombies and people who have sex. It's just evil everywhere.
I'm swearing, and I'm allowed to swear, and I don't get in trouble.
Man,
Finn's
you
whole world has
really-
been rocked over these past 2 days. This poor guy.
Right.
When I said clear with extra steps, we're including the religious trauma, y'all.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. We're keeping it, baby.
So as you all kind of finish that interaction, a very tall human individual walks up. It kind of takes off this little hat and the thin goatee, and it's like,
Man with the fedora.
"Yes. Oh, is that what it's called? I'm so
Oh.
sorry. I don't know what these people call these little hats. It's so wonderful
Hey,
to
what's
see.
with this fucking accent?
Hold on a
It's so
minute.
wonderful
Hold
to
on a
see
minute.
this
Right?
adventuring group. Yeah.
Yeah, a minute.
What?
Sorry.
Oh? I'm just looking for this adventuring group, and so here you are. I'm just looking for, I've heard tales of, a person who has seen the high seas, and has seen, horrific, these, horrific, terrible, ongoings by horrible monsters of the sea. I am desperate for stories of these things.
Points at Marius.
Yeah, it's like, I see a very large hat. It dwarfs my own. I just,
I tip my
Yeah.
hat to your hat.
thank
Uh,
you.
I mean, I don't think Marius has mentioned his ventures out on the sea.
Mhm.
I mean, the closest he got to
What's he
mentioning
like?
that to anyone, was
Yeah,
mentioning to Finn about what him and Talia got out
Yeah.
of, but he hasn't exactly mentioned he was on the seas
has-
before.
he has
And
not.
Marius-
This guy knows, though.
Marius,
He big smart.
how does this guy know that I wanted?
I've heard the tale of the horned man who stands like a giant with a wonderful hat, and I must assume, I mean, you're a curious individual for sure. Would you please? I'm desperate for tales. It is a huge interest of mine.
I didn't know we had someone famous.
Or infamous.
Marius' mouth dries up, and he's just like, I do have tales of being out on the seas, but they may not be the most glamorous.
I'm just desperate for any kind of tale of the sea. It's a huge interest of mine. I'm writing a story, you see, and I need more direct information in order to flesh out the characters, if you will. Currently, I'm writing a wonderful woman whose love and devotion changed the heart of a wicked pirate king, and I just need more like individual insights on anyone who knows anyone like that. Please, I don't mean to hold you up. I will follow. I'll walk and talk. We shall walk and talk, please. You clearly have somewhere to be. You've just finished a deal.
Yes.
Marius
Luna
does
is
actually.
glued next to Marius to hear these stories. Like, I just immediately, as soon as the mention of tales, like, boom, stuck to you like a child next to like their
Full
parent,
contact.
just waiting for it. Oh
Marius
yeah,
is
literally could not get
Yeah.
away from me if you tried.
the moment anything of his past gets brought up of like his time on the seas. Marius's chill composure and stuff like that kind of immediately drops, and he's a little bit on edge.
But please,
I think-
we'll get out of this dark dank hole in the wall bar. No offense
Yeah.
to our patron,
Yeah,
but
that's
but
probably
yes, you clearly
good
have
idea.
somewhere to be. I will come and not hold you up. And walks with you to like exit the bar, and you all start like heading a couple buildings down. Pretty obvious, like 2 blocks down, you see the red flag of like where to go meet up right at the edge of the city.
Right.
All kind of waiting there for this
Yes,
for the wagon to
capitalism
show
is
up.
a red flag.
It is a
uh,
red flag, yeah, literally a red flag.
If you don't mind my asking, first of all, what's your name?
Oh, my name. I must confess. I would rather hand you some gold than reveal my name, as I am a wanted man in many corners of the kingdoms. So I prefer to keep my whereabouts to myself and my most trusted compatriots. If that is all right.
You know,
What can we call you then?
do you have a,
Can't just
do you
say-
have
You may
like
call
a
me-
pseudo?
you may call
Do
me.
you have a pseudonym?
You may call me Love.
I don't think I'll
Oh,
be
no.
doing that.
Yeah, me either.
You may call me Fred.
Red.
Fred it is?
That's better.
Fred. All right.
Fred
Can't
works.
emphasize enough.
Fred
Not
works.
my name.
Oh,
But
no, of course.
sure, I will
You're
respond for the
Fred.
time being to Fred.
Marius at the moment he says it's just like, oh, I'm a wanted man. Marius would kind of nod and be just like, all right, I understand.
So quick, you've
That's the main
been
reason
on,
Marius hasn't revealed his last name to anyone yet.
you have been on the high seas. You have do you have any knowledge of an individual, like a horrible pirate king of sorts? Someone who would have had maybe a bright, shining beacon of a woman who softened his heart for a time.
You know, that's yeah. I might know of someone like that.
Wonderful. When you last saw him, I'm trying to paint the scenery. What kind of like land features were nearby? Or like mountains or islands or what was it? Paint the scenery for me.
Well, it was a bit north of here. It was a bit north of Formire, kind of. I need to look at the map of the Quacha real quick.
Yes, quite.
Whips out like a map, just like the guy.
After
My
the
house,
It's like a
the
PhD.
northwest, I
Oh, yeah.
assume.
It
Cool
was
jetpack.
it was a bit north of La Quacha, kind of up by the mountains. A bit north,
beyond the immediate area of La Guacha. Very good, very good.
mostly.
So
Yeah, it
up
was
the coast
it was
if
in
you
the-
went north in the western. Yes, I see.
kind of in the Starleaf Sea.
Sorry. Oh, excellent. Very wonderfully specific. And then the boat that he traveled in, very recognizable from a distance, or dark woods and difficult to see.
You could say it was quite recognizable. It was darker woods with what looks like burned edges in some places, and like a lot of designs that are reminiscent of Hellfire.
Excellent. Quite great. And then the light of the woman who softened his heart, was it left with him, or was it absconded by some ne'er-do-well, or discarded into the sea, or would she take it with her and it broke him?
How uncomfortable is Marius right now?
Good question.
Insight check Marius real quick.
Yeah, I would
Is he
say
good?
an insight check.
Insight check, sure.
I mean,
Mary's trying to hold it together, yeah.
I want to know if my friend's okay.
7 plus what is that? 6, I think.
19
Yes.
plus
No, I'm
21.
wrong.
Beat it 21. Oh yeah, I dare you.
No.
Luna
I'm
fully
the one-
cares
I'm
in
the
the
wisdom.
moment, but
What was Edmund? What was Edmund's role? Total
12.
12.
12.
Only a 12.
Okay, on this to Edmund, Marius looks like he's holding it together relatively well. He's a bit kind of on edge and a little bit uncomfortable, but you can see he's kind of just telling what he's comfortable saying. Finn, he is having a lot of trouble kind of not keeping it together, but like a lot of trouble speaking about some of this so publicly without making it seem like this is something he was involved with directly.
Yeah. Finn, you also pick up on this other guy does not give two fucks about the floweriness of the situation and is taking hard logistical notes on position and direction and details of the situation. Is playing it up for everyone else as a I'm
Okay.
making a fine
Being
narration kind of thing.
In that case, I'm gonna white knight it a little bit
Mhm.
with Marius's blessing. I'm gonna give him a look of like, do you want me to jump in?
And
Because like I look like I'm about to say something.
yeah, and
Looking
then,
at
and
Marius.
finally, I just want to know, how long ago was this that you last had contact, and to give me an idea of how much time has passed and the style and everything.
Marius would kind of give kind of an
Actually,
give kind of a sort of look of not a nod because he doesn't want the guy to realize, but kind of a look towards Finn being a subtle look towards Finn being just like help.
cool. I'm gonna look at him and go, this Fred guy, and I go, you know, those are all really fascinating questions. May I offer you a deal? Because I actually have something that I would like to know. Nothing super personal, but I'm on a bit of a like knowledge kick myself, so maybe we could trade a little bit of knowledge. My friend gives you this you know, details for your story, and I find out more about your faith, shall we say.
Awkward to pause mid-scene, but I'm getting an echo from somebody. Not sure where it's coming from.
I think it's Zarya.
Could be. But the
Not me this time. I swear it. I fixed my audio settings.
yeah. There is a bit of a thing where it just kind of turns to you, and make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh no! No, I actually just wanted to know.
Oh boy.
Ooh. Okay. Wisdom save. Oh, thank God, I'm good at that. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You feel an influence kind of wave over you, but you manage to resist it, and kind of, you see him clock that you resisted, and then just does one of those like,
Here's an eyebrow at him.
well, I guess this is kind of a moot point now. And it pulls out a business card,
Uh-oh.
essentially like a stiff piece of parchment, and hands it over to
I
Marius.
fully thought you were gonna say he pulls out a gun.
No.
Fred
Hands over to Marius.
What is it?
It says,
Shit, this is say.
comes strapped.
you think of any more information about the location of your father, and you burn this
My
card to
God.
summon me, and we will discuss it more, nephew. And then
Hold on.
Wait,
Do I actually want to know what your
nephew.
faith
moves away.
Wait, no, I wasn't intimidating you. I wanted to assume genuine.
Oh, it's genuine curiosity.
does a thing where it starts walking away from the party. After that, Luna, yeah.
Was that to do it? You don't worship anyone? Was that a no?
Okay.
Looks
Can I
genuinely
call
befuddled.
after him?
You go after
Call
him.
after him and say, no, I'm calling after
Oh,
him.
okay.
And just say, Marty has your money. And that's
Alright.
it.
Marty has your
Something.
buddy. What?
Marty, that's
You go with
that's
a fedora.
the guy that I talked to, right?
Oh,
He
Marty
said
has your
he
money.
had money.
Oh, gotcha. There is
Yeah.
a pause, and it stops and turns and goes, and walks back to you and hands over the staff that he had, and goes, "Keep you warm at night." And then and does like a tilt
Wait.
a bow with the fedora, and then walks away.
Yeah.
And
Wait.
you are holding this like odd staff.
Yo, what? That's cool.
Wait a minute.
Marius is
God,
holding
his
a business
staff.
card essentially,
And then
and he
Marius
starts walking
would
away.
Marius would say real quick, look,
Yeah.
what does the card say first of all?
It says Amor Salvan, and there's there's some runes that are like sketched into it, like imprinted into the paper, and it's some sort of like summoning card to be able to burn. He said
But
to burn it and it would summon him.
He's human?
He looks human.
Raphael, quick question.
Yeah.
I have two Eldritch invocations. One is Agonizing Blast. The other is Eyes of the Rune Caper, which
Ooh.
says I can read all writing. Would this count? Would I be... I mean, I know you said that it's like summoning, but could I
Yeah.
get more details?
Are you able to look at the card? I don't know if Marius is like holding it tight or whatever, but if you kind of just look
I
over
mean,
at
I'd
it,
like to look.
yeah, you can kind of read.
Marius isn't like blocking it.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
anything.
You can kind of read the runes. It doesn't give you much. It's not like a secret translation or anything. It's just the runes are for summoning creatures. They are in Infernal. But other than that, you can make out that they
I can
there
read
it is a
Infernal.
summoning spell essentially.
You can also read Infernal.
Yeah, you
Oh,
see
weird.
that they are summoning runes for. Usually, it's something where it's a when you want to talk to a devil.
Did I
So
accidentally
he's been-
almost make a deal with the devil when I'm already currently in a warlock contract?
Yeah, kind of.
I almost
That's
put on my page.
wild.
I just like very nervously like I don't know if anyone else can I try and do it subtly, just like grab my backpack and very like mentally go, Nick, I'm sorry, I had no idea.
Well, you see him get
Marius-
about 30. See him get
Perception.
20, 30 feet away from the party, and then switches forms into like an Aarakocra, and the wings go and takes off, flying over the buildings to head off in a direction.
Marius is kind of like, he's not frozen. He's just kind of dissociating right now, looking down at the business card
Mhm.
and like recognizing the writing of the runes and stuff like that, and like the fact that it's normally used to like summon a devil, and he's just like, and also the fact that he said nephew. And Marius is just, he's
Wild.
just not there right now.
Wave
He's
my hand.
there.
And then,
He's just
There's a
Hello.
bell that ding ding, and you all look over at this like wagon that's been pulled up. There's still a
Okay.
little bit of like sawdust on it that the delivery guy is like wiping off. He's got a pair of donkeys up front. He goes, "Oh yeah. You're the ones, right?
yeah.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
Yes, we are. Also, this has nothing to do with anything. I just love the image of Marius looking down at this card with like 1,000-yard stare,
Yeah."
and then fucking Finn is over here like trying to get a
Yeah, looking
phone or
over it.
something.
And this whole dramatic scene, and then LaBelle and the guy going like, "You all ordered a wagon with some
Finn is just
donkeys."
baby. I gotta stop fighting the rumors that Finn is baby. She's just curious, okay?
Yes, we are the ones that ordered the wagon.
Oh, there you go. You match your description, so
That was-
sure.
That was
Um,
incredibly quick.
Oh yeah, it's just
Yeah,
sort of
thank
a,
you.
you know, it's a quick job. Hands the reins over to you. You take a quick inspection. If you look closely enough, you can just see that these are like crates and barrels that have been just like nailed into the bottom of an existing wagon.
Mhm.
And then there's a little sawdust, and if you go under the wagon, you can see the face port that's been set up so that someone can like see the ground
Yay.
with their laying in there.
No panic attack today.
Yeah.
Yay.
There's some straw that's been like thrown in the back to be used to like cover yourself, and some boards have been set up. It's a as someone who can do this modification, it's a relatively straightforward modification. If you've got the boards and everything, you just put a couple of boards in as pegs, and then another board on or plank or whatever on top with something you can get your finger under, and you can just open it up, get inside, and lower it over you. But yeah,
This
it's
is reminding me.
yeah.
Sorry, it is reminding me a little bit of the barrel scene in I think it's Act 3 of Rosa Guns and Guildenstern are Dead, where everyone just like switches barrels,
Mm.
and it's that whole thing.
that's fun.
As someone who has worked on sets, I also know how to do that.
Right.
Anyway,
But yeah, you have
Let's
there's one like large crate for the larger individual, and then there's a barrel, and then another crate for the person who wants to lay in a way that where they can see through the hole in the floor, and then space for someone to be up top. Greg catches up out of the bar. He kind of like hung back and got a beer. It seems like he's like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" I'm like, I'm just gaining new experiences and stuff. I'm ready to drive though. Don't worry about. Oh, wait.
well, drunk.
I was like, can I do an insight check to see how
Yeah,
drunk
taxes
Greg
do I have?
is?
Yeah. There's no insight really needed. He's a little drunk. But then there's
Okay.
a
Oh,
moment
dear.
where he just does one of these like, looks over at like a lit torch and goes, hands a hand out, and, and like there's a of the fire as the alcohol gets like shot out of the system. He goes, "Oh yeah, great! I was making sure I could do that. If anybody wants to get me some poisons, I'll put it in my body and I'll like spray somebody in the face with it.
That's not a bad
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna drive." And then like kind of like wiggly body gets over to the front and takes the reins. And, Amy's like, "Let's go." These things are stubborn.
Darius
Are
would-
we-
Immediately just hop on and just like, all right,
We
let's
should
go.
I went
probably
flying carefully in.
we
Yeah,
should
are we
probably
heading to the tower in this like already disguised, or do we have time to like?
You guys have a couple of
Where's
days to
behind the
like do
barrels?
stuff on the way, or
the
but
day? Oh.
it's probably your last place to
Oh, it's a
buy
multi-day
stuff.
trip.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're gonna. It's a few days to get over there.
We don't really have to hide until we get to the gate, right?
Yeah.
Mostly.
We're on the Oregon Trail, baby! Except it's not the Oregon Trail because we're in
Road
station, but
trip.
still,
Yeah.
road trip.
We also
Okay.
need to actually figure out some things to put in the wagon to kind of make it seem like we're actually transporting something instead of just a couple crates in a barrel.
Yeah. Probably
Yeah.
true.
We have.
Also, I'm gonna
I
say,
did-
I'm gonna say for Luna, I'm gonna need an investigation check.
I was wondering when that was going to. Ah, bless. I wish I had my actual dice. Ugh. Investigation. Oh, so that's a whopping 6 because I have a -1 to intelligence.
Nice. So with a 6, on a DC 5, it takes you a minute. It's a device that is meant to be understood and then used. The pole that you get, it's a little taller than like a walking staff or anything like that. But you are like messing with it while everybody else is kind of like getting the wagon ready, or staring off
Full-on
1,000-yard
bow staff,
stare
like-
style. You try to use it as like a fighting staff, but it's clearly not that. And eventually you find like a spring-loaded system where you push a button and the whole thing expands out into a 10 by 10 tent. Like almost instantaneously just comes down and it's good to go.
It's awesome.
Yeah. One moment.
John.
John. John, what the hell, man?
Damn, John, that's what. And
tell
stop
Lizzie.
playing your bass so loud.
It's fucking John, dude. Fucking banging away at the
John.
drums, like.
I like how I muted it to like not have any of that recorded, and then everybody just starts saying it. Mute the Discord also. What I was doing.
Whoops.
Yeah.
The first time whenever you were muting your cough, the recording
Yeah.
heard it.
Muted the
Second
cough
time
for
whenever
everybody
you were
else.
muting the
Recording
conversation.
Yeah, mute the
So
cover.
the recording
Well,
didn't hear.
now the audience doesn't know what John was doing. He was playing the drum solo from YYZ.
It's true.
And
Yes.
now they'll never hear it.
It was really
Correct.
insane there.
Damn,
It was really
never
insane.
hear it.
Yeah. Yes. So, do you all want to blow some gold on like stuff to like throw over the top?
What do I have?
I
What's
have
All my stuff looks
no
super
gold to
suspicious.
blow. I have 9 gold. I cannot
Right.
do the thing.
I have ball bearings, a crowbar. I have a
Here-
book, but all
So
my
I
I
have
have a little bag of sand and manacles. None of these things are like normal things for people to have.
Yeah.
This is
Like
all
a-
weird
I
shit.
thought the bag of sand was
Um,
a 40-year-old virgin reference.
I do have like a shit ton of weapons. I have 6 javelins and a longbow. So if we want to go like the weapon route, we can absolutely just toss the javelins over. Like
Yeah. Because you all can like lay down essentially straw to make it seem like packing material, and then you start throwing just gear you have to be like, oh, we're transporting adventuring gear, and you can just throw your general adventuring gear over the top of your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put all stuff out.
I'll
That's
do
not a
that.
bad
Then. I think. I mean, 6 javelins specifically.
Right. All right.
Exactly.
It's like,
six
oh, that's the
javelins.
shit that we couldn't store, and that's the shit we couldn't fit into the other crates.
Cool. Right.
Right. A little big.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you all just
Um,
bring along your own adventuring gear to use as the cover. No need to stop for extra. You can all actually just
Might
hit
as
the
well.
road at this point.
um, you,
Oh, everybody got
you
rations?
said it was going to be I do have rations. Yes.
Mhm.
I don't. I should probably go get some real quick.
I don't know if this is a thing part of the Outlander, but I think there's like a wanderer aspect of it.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
this is me
yeah.
just reading. It says,
Yeah.
you can find food and fresh water for yourself and up to 5 other people each day, provided that the land offers berries, small game, water, and so forth.
Yeah.
5 other people? Jesus.
Yeah. So you start to mention buying rations, and Luna's like, "We can just go."
Literally,
Yeah, I got this.
Yeah,
Extra steps. Forgot about that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
Your ranger is like, "No, we got this."
Love that the actual ranger on the team is like, well, I don't fucking know what to do.
Yeah.
Oh, fine.
I don't know any of this
I'm not
works.
that kind of ranger.
The literal ranger doesn't know how nature works, and then the ranger has
Rogue.
got you covered. Yeah.
It's like,
I got it.
small game, why not?
Right. For Marius, is the 1,000-yard stare like continuing as you just like get up in the wagon and things start off?
For the most part.
Right.
I mean, he's kind of coming down from it, but he's kind of still looking at the business card.
Right. Luna?
Can I take my new pole, and since it's not really a weapon, just kind of take it and like poke Marius and be like, "Hey, you good?"
What?
This sort of
That's a whole person.
You haven't fully figured out how to collapse the tent yet. You all just see Luna get encased in a tent, and then it takes a good 10 minutes to like figure out how to fold it back up into the pole, and then walks over and like, all right, I'm good to go, and then just like starts poking Marius.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm all right. Guess y'all know that now.
Yeah, that was wild.
That
But
was
I'm not gonna ask
wild.
you any questions about it unless you want to like talk about it, because like, I mean, stories are awesome, but like, personal boundaries are a thing.
He was
So-
just
Very important.
Yeah, totally. Nobody wants to talk about uncles with goatees. Right? That's the thing that we're worried about, right? I'm sorry, I don't have a direct mental
yes.
connection with most of you.
That's right.
I'm working out, like, vibes. I don't know how they work yet.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't even know I had an uncle. I mean, it should have crossed my mind, but it
He's lying though.
didn't.
What if he's just the guy who happens to know your dad? Just because he's a. That's not even.
Because I-
I think all
Because
uncles
I-
are just guys who know your dad.
Because I know what my dad is.
Oh, okay. I mean, my parents are a tiefling and Osimar, so, you're like first
Yep.
gen. Okay, sorry, you're first gen tiefling. Never mind. I'm sorry. That
You're
Okay.
Tiefling.
Yup.
because like out of character, it's like, well, tieflings can give birth to tieflings and so on, but you're
Yeah.
fully like devil humanoid tiefling.
I could go off for a second about like how tieflings are like portrayed when in typical D&D games, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
most part, yeah, I guess, yeah, first gen is what you'd call it, I guess.
Sorry, not to be insensitive, just
You're fine. Yeah, my last name is Salvin, if that means anything to any of you.
cool.
It might not. If it doesn't, congratulations. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't think. Let me take a second. I gotta look at my map.
I mean, would that mean anything to
I
anyone?
don't think so.
Anyone?
Doesn't actually mean
No,
that
I don't
to
think
me.
so.
No.
So-
No, I just was like, I just wanted to see like, oh, how far am I away from the ocean, just to see if like any like stories would have come through. But
I don't think Finn's anywhere near. Let's see.
Well,
I'm
guess
I'm
not then.
good.
Wrong ocean.
Would anyone in game know what Salvin is reference to?
No.
I'm
absolutely
asking.
not.
Oh, you man, I can.
I'm asking Arya because I don't know actually what
I
DC to
mean,
put that as.
I mean, his father's a pirate,
Yeah,
so I would figure.
people are all pretty inland though, so
doesn't
like, it's one of those
I
like
mean,
Unless Goneril has a history of pirates, I don't think.
Right.
Yeah.
This historical elven town, famous for its pirates.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
unless the West and the Eastern Oceans connect somewhere, then probably the only one that may know is anyone who is from Lyminster. But Lyminster isn't a port town, so
No. And given
Um,
Finn's backstory, he would not know.
yeah, there's really no
He's
reason
just
for him to do-
surprised you're a pirate. He's just looking
Yeah.
like, you're a pirate? That's It's like
I-
super cool.
I used to be, yeah. I'm not particularly proud of it, but
Well, no, you did bad things, but like also it's kind of cool. A little bit.
I mean, I wasn't the one that did all the bad things most of the time. I tried to stay out of it a lot, but my father
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, toughen up," and shit like that. Not the best father.
Also, I like to think in my headcanon that when Finn
Kill you.
says
Go
bad
ahead.
things, that he means like drinking and swearing.
And then meanwhile, when Marius has said bad things, is like pillage and murder.
Murdering.
Privilege and murder, yeah.
Yes. We have different
there was-
standards. Yeah, let's go. Finn does have questions he wants to ask the party on the, but he'll wait till we get.
Yeah,
Go.
wagon's moving, couple of days worth of able to chat and stuff like that.
Black Knight has had his
Yeah. Edmund's
As we prepare to set off, I think I'll take out my woodcarver's kit. I'll take out my painter supplies, and I'll ask Luna. Did you give any thought to what kind of mask you wanted?
I forgot about that. Immediate, like, as soon as she thought about it, it just left her brain. So she's just gonna take a second and be like, let me think about it. There's so many options. Let me think about it, but I will get back to you because, you know, we're traveling together for quite some time. Thank you. I forgot about that.
Of course. How about two of you? Consider a gift.
I also need to think about it. Again, very generous of you. I have no idea.
Maybe it can be like our thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
do you? Well, Edmund, what's a mask you've always wanted to make, but no one's ever really requested? That's what I want. Something unique.
You know, I've never actually thought about that. I mean, these masks that I have here, you know, here and here, they're just sort of
Yeah.
They're meant to sort of depict creatures from the material plane that I admire particularly. So I think I've got that covered. It's more out of a necessity than out of just for the sake of it, for the sake of art. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you know, now that we have these next few days, I think maybe I'll try making something different.
Maybe something from. Wait, you're not from the material plane. Where are you from?
No, I thought we've already established this. I'm from the Feywild.
Finn forgot. I remember.
That makes sense,
forgot.
actually.
Finn's like, I am so sorry. I believe that you said that. For some reason, I did not. I'm so sorry. Could you do something from the Feywild, maybe? I mean, don't offend any like Feylords or whatever by depicting them, but like, Finn.
No. I mean, if I'm not particularly
Like a fake creature.
fond of it, but if you want something from the Feywild, I'd be more than happy to craft it for you.
Yeah.
There's a little pseudopod
yeah.
raises up and goes, if I could, like a face, you know, like
Oh yeah, normal face.
like some like pale with like
Oh, yeah,
lips
present.
and like the eye
A human
bits, you know,
face.
maybe the eye, what do you call it, the hair above the eyebrows?
The eyebrow, yes.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Real face.
So I typically specialize in. I mean, you see the masks on my hip. They're
Mhm.
ferocious. They're meant to invoke fear.
There's nothing more deadly than the most dangerous game. You know, Parcheesi. But I do want to have like the face of someone who would play that.
Nothing
face
more
of
scary than a
someone who
normal
will play
human
the
man.
Yeah.
I will attempt to craft a human face for you if that's what you desire.
There it is. Yes, as soft and supple as possible. One that looks like it's never seen a day of combat in its life because it's so deadly.
Do you have a preference? Do you have a
Not
preference
human
for
face.
gender identity?
Oh yeah, I feel like I align pretty well with the fellas.
Okay.
So yeah, that's probably a way to go. But you know, I don't need it to be like a good round face with soft features.
Normal human face it is then, and I will begin to work on that as the opportunity presents itself.
I couldn't pass up the idea of like your your little like wagon guy having this mask.
Okay.
It's a human face. It's just carved out of wood.
That's so funny.
That's truly terrifying. The idea of just seeing a wagon come up to you and the person
Yeah. It just looks at you with a
driving it
human
wearing
face.
human
Yeah.
mask
See,
Yeah.
without it being
picturing-
human.
The
Look,
most.
okay,
This,
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
yeah.
If I roll on this like woodcarver's thing poorly, it's gonna be Plank from Ed, Edd n Eddy. But if I roll a one specifically, it's going to be Balloony from Phineas and Ferb. It's just so
Yeah.
uncanny.
Yeah. And to be fair, the scariest mask I've ever seen was when my brother cut the face off of a CPR doll and put it on his face with just like he
You also
extra
Slit it
slits
right
to be able to see
right
through it.
through.
Huh?
I thought you were about to drop some childhood trauma. It's like, oh
No,
yeah,
no.
when my brother cut off the
Cut
face
off
of a
the
real
face
human
of a
being.
person. Yeah, no.
Just that's cool.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll start crafting that as soon as I can.
Oh, really appreciate it. But yeah, you'll get the wagon going. I do want let's say a D12 roll from for Finn.
Oh, never mind.
Marius is now like a
Not
little
what
bit
to
worried.
do. Okay.
Marius is now just like a tiny bit worried that he's a recognizable wanted man. So
Mm.
What? Why
He
do I keep
didn't
having
really
to roll
have this
random
before.
dice?
Mm-hmm.
What did I do?
he
Nine.
didn't really have this before, despite it making sense that he would have a fear of being found out
Yeah,
that
I
he
think-
was a wanted man. But
Mhm.
now he kind of does,
Makes
despite
perfect sense.
Yeah.
despite the fact
I do
that
think-
the person who knew who he was a heritage thing.
Right. So for
Probably 9.
for Finn getting a 9 on the D12,
So terrified of me.
you all basically get through a day of travel without any real encounters or anything to like worry about and all that. You all even like get your tent set up for the evening. You figure out it does have it's essentially a magic item, but it's like a button push makes a tent, and then it's just a simple
Nice.
collapse down like rod that then collapses up into the pole to like pull all the
Ooh.
bits up and back into it. And it comes with a little like brazier that pops out of the bottom, so that you can do a little fire on the inside of the tent to keep it nice and toasty. And then while Finn is like on watch with everybody else, kind of asleep over there.
Oh no!
You,
No, come on, man.
there's a glisten in the there's a glisten like in the distance, like it's shining like on a hill, like a twinkle being reflected off of something that like on the horizon that you couldn't possibly get to like tonight in traveling in the darkness, but it's like you see something.
Okay.
You see a reflection of some kind of metal, just like the angle of the moonlight hit it just right to where you can see it.
Like a spyglass?
More like
metal, he said.
more like some kind of shiny metal object that has light reflecting off of it, and then as time goes by, the reflections, like the perfect angle that it would reflect to you, isn't lined up anymore, and you can't track it anymore.
That's weird. Can I do something on my watch actually?
Sure.
Which I have kind of been low key trying to do. I'm gonna take out heavily redacted something from my bag, and I'm gonna try and like, I don't know if this would be like an Arcana check or persuasion check or what the fuck you want me to make. I'm gonna try and get Nick to say something to me because he's been quiet this whole time, and it's freaking me out. And I just want him to say just something
Right.
productive, hopefully. But I just like
Let's make a
take the thing out.
let's say a persuasion check. Yeah, you're trying to get a response here.
Hey,
I
well,
will say what I'm gonna say with guidance.
Right.
I'll say what I'm gonna say depending on how well.
Right.
while he's doing that,
Yes.
You are.
what did you say the name of the guy that was asking Marius all these questions was? What, Salvin?
Amor Salvan.
How do you spell that?
Amor, Amor. which is why he tried to introduce himself as
Oh,
love.
so literally love.
Yeah, he tried to introduce
Yeah,
himself
nice.
as love.
I
Ah.
brought that
No,
up.
you.
Yeah.
So
That could be
you did, but I
That's an
didn't
Aarakocra.
hear Jeff say that.
Hmm
So I
also
was
didn't.
like, oh, okay. I just.
Yeah, right.
The way you're
Luna's not the
saying
only one that can just zone out.
the way you're saying Salvan
Mhm.
is it spelled differently?
No, it's spelled the same way. He just says it weird.
Because he's French. Got it.
Yeah. His go-to human is French. Yeah.
Disgusting.
Damage. Okay, whatever. I rolled a 15 plus 3
Mhm.
from my persuasion, plus 1 from guidance, and 19.
19. You do hear you have this moment of there's the glisten in the distance, almost kind of reforms and then comes into the eyes of the object that you work with, and then a little voice kind of comes up and goes, "If you needed to be redirected, I would redirect you. You're doing fine."
I don't get a hint. You need
What?
me. Why are you?
You're doing fine. I will offer redirection as needed. This is something you will need to learn.
Okay.
You're doing fine. Now, if you're in
I knew I
need,
believe in.
if you think you're in need of a pat on the head for doing well, consider yourself tapped upon the cranium.
Okay.
Have you done anything to draw my attention? In particular, something outlandishly good that I feel the need to reward? No, not really. But I'm keeping an eye.
Hey, while you're here, what's that thing on the hill? Can you tell? I know it's kind of hard for you to tell, but can you?
You're
just
going to
try and
have
hear.
to be so much more specific.
I hold the thing up and like point toward the thing. Can you see it?
It's really far away.
Okay. Okay, never mind. Okay, sorry. Okay. Sorry to bother you. But thank you.
It's fine.
I love your voice for him immediately. Like, why? He's like a cat. He's like, why are you bothering me? What do you want? Oh, you want a pat? Okay, fine. You can pat me, and then I'm gonna walk away.
Right.
Fine. I'll put
Yeah,
it
a
back in my
bit
bag.
like a disconnected patron who didn't feel the need to micromanage you, but it's just like, well, if you feel like you need,
So he's baby.
I need you to go faster. At the moment,
I'm trying, but they keep asking questions, and
they keep asking
Well-
questions that you don't have to respond to. You can
but I
simply,
feel like I gotta.
I know you feel that way, but you can also just get moving.
I don't want to be rude.
I don't
don't
want
have
people
it.
to die.
Is it that serious?
You
What are
know,
you not telling me?
You know where
I don't
they're
mean to get uppity here, but
you know where they're heading, and you've heard what they carry, which is documented proof that everything those people believe is a lie. At best,
Yeah.
people won't believe it. It
At
will
worst.
seldom go at best,
yeah.
especially with
protect
the companion that one of them chose is less likely to be a quiet in and out, haha, this was all good and fun, and is far more likely to be a, no, let's start burning the buildings to the ground so they have to read it.
Well, what if they deserve it though?
I mean, they
I
kind of do, but that's not really the position we're in.
No, it's not. You're right. Okay. I'm helping you. You're kind of helping me. No, not kind of. No, you're giving me power. Thank you. I'll let you get back to resting. Not that you can do much else right now.
I wasn't resting, I assure you.
Do you sleep in there
I
at all?
try- In there?
Oh. Well, you know, in your.
I'm not
Your
in this
prison.
thing. This is a conduit. I am elsewhere. I
Oh.
really wish I'd explained everything to you more thoroughly.
No, yeah. When I picked you up, you told me like, "Oh, I'm stuck in. I'm stuck. Can you help me?"
I'm stuck in the it's like this is my only mode of communication, which is frustrating.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry, that makes more sense. Okay, I feel less precious about this thing now.
Yes, but I mean, still,
this
it's
thing, ugh.
important to hang on to, as it's the only way I can.
Right.
Losing
Yes,
communication is going to be a
Okay.
problem. But no, I'm not literally trapped inside.
Yeah.
It's more
Okay,
of a communication device, but it's also the only one. So do be
It's a
careful.
weird communication device. I gotta be real with you. It's weird.
I wasn't my first choice.
No, I know. Yeah, weird, man. Okay. Thanks, Copernicus. Yeah, I'm gonna put.
I'm trying to think
Bye.
of something else I can let you know.
I mean, if you're willing.
Roll. Okay.
Roll a history check for my patient. Does he remember?
Your
If he remembers shit.
your
No, that one.
your more fur-covered friend. Let them zap you, and then have them fire on something nearby.
Let
Huh?
her zap me and then fire on someone nearby.
Let her zap you, and then immediately fire her bow at something.
Is that going to hurt me?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate your honesty. Okay. All right.
Definitely.
But that's
Cool.
your task for tomorrow. You wanted a more direct communication and orders,
Yes.
so here you are. And then continue on your day.
Okay. Thank you.
It will hurt.
That's fine. I'll try anything once.
Fair enough.
I get paid every time I say that. I get royalties every time I say my catchphrase, so you know. Okay.
20
I
bucks
will-
just got what's
Yeah.
it called?
20 bucks in my
Just got
Venmo, let's go.
wired to
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Jeff Venmos me $20 every time I say my catchphrase.
I feel like I missed a
I'm
joke
actually
somewhere.
You don't pay the GM pays. Yeah, and I'll put Nick away and I'll.
For some reason, I thought you were talking about Jeff fucking Bezos.
Oh,
Like somewhere on the planet,
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos is like.
Honestly?
and then you
no,
just
I didn't
type
hit
on
live
it.
stream. I didn't hit the live stream to Prime. It has the option on the OBS, but I didn't hit it.
Hilarious. Anyway, yeah, I'll. I didn't think I'd actually get through to him. But it's just like
19's pretty good.
Nick.
Yeah,
It's just like Nick, I know you're in there.
right.
Except he's not actually in there. But
Yeah.
Finn thought he was.
But yeah.
Marius would also offer to take a watch.
Yeah.
by the way.
About the time the tent flap opens up, Marius coming out gives you kind of quickly stash the object, and
Marius would pop out and he's just like, "Who are you talking to?"
it's probably some audible
That's
mumbles
not
came out.
Marius's voice. Apparently, whenever he's tired, he
Arthur Morgan again.
doesn't slur.
I just
Can
go.
I?
Oh. Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
I've been wanting to point this out the entire time you guys were talking. Being an Eladrin, Edmund.
Any elf,
Edmund
you'd be
goes
just
into a
meditating.
trance instead of sleeping, which means
Mhm.
that he only has to do it for 4 hours instead of 8.
Mhm.
So I think that he would like take most of the watch shift.
Take a good chunk of
I
it.
would
Yeah.
also like to point out that he is still conscious during his trance.
Mhm.
So
So you just
Any-
heard Finn talking to
Yeah.
like one
Kind
hand.
of a
like, only I
one-sided-
can hear Nick because Nick's in my brain, but
Yeah.
I heard. I didn't hear
we're a
all of that.
one-sided
apparently.
phone conversation.
Yeah.
Yes,
Finn does
I
not
heard.
do that.
It's also just polite if you're camping not to have your phone conversations
Yeah.
right next to the tent where people were sleeping.
I thought everyone was. Finn thought everybody was listening,
Yeah.
or he thought you'd have to get the assistant not to listen. But
Yeah.
as when Mary says that, I just go,
Marius wasn't listening. He just woke up towards
No,
the
no,
tail.
no.
Mhm.
To your question, Finn just goes, gives you a very like guilty, like I'm not gonna say it look, and just goes,
I won't
just-
say anything. Your business is
mean-
your business.
and oh, Arya froze.
Froze for a second there, but I think we're good.
Wait,
Did I freeze or was
hi,
that
we're
Arya that
back.
froze?
I think
no,
it
Arya
froze.
froze.
All of y'all froze on my end.
I think
as
everyone
well.
froze for a minute there, but yeah, we're back.
Okay.
What was the last thing y'all heard me say?
I didn't catch
It's,
it.
you just said
Um,
it's your business, and then you froze. You
Yeah,
just-
Marius is just like, it's your business. If you don't want to tell me anything, you don't have to.
you know how like, well, actually, I haven't had a chance to ask people yet, but I'm like exploring like different gods and different religions. And that's what this like little journal is. And actually, Finn will take it out of his bag and like show
Mhm.
you that he's taken like jotted down very quick notes on a variety of gods in this setting. I don't know if they're different, but is like kind of initials for the person, for the worshiper, and then like what they do specifically worship. Some of them it's very simple, like I pray every morning, or some of them are like I do this, I pray to this god for this. Like some people have multiple gods, so he's got all these like really intricate notes, and actually has started 3 different headings. A couple of them are like this person, like initial, and then no worshiping, or like follows God, no practicing, no practitioning or whatever. And does have headings for you, Edmund, and Luna that are currently blank. And he goes, I'm not actually a cleric. My parents wanted me to be, but I'm a warlock, and
Alright.
my deal with my patron is I adventure and see the world, and I find some way to help them break out of their prison.
That sounds like
Let's.
potentially dangerous, but
That's. Well, if you knew what I knew, this is the better alternative. Let me leave
you
it
know
at that.
what? That's fair. That's fair.
I don't
All
really
right.
want to get into it right now because I just met you guys, and
You're fine.
oh, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Let me just believe me. A warlock contract is the better part, the better option.
You know what? That's fair. You have your deal with your patron. I have my pirate past. We have
You
our
didn't-
things.
You didn't hear any of that?
I mean, I kind of just
Is your-
woke up a few minutes ago and just heard your voice. I didn't listen to anything you were saying.
Not that Finn doesn't trust you, but I would like to do an insight check because Finn is a little
Marius is telling the truth.
Yeah, passive
Okay.
But you
insight.
can go ahead.
Just woke
Passive
up.
insight?
The
Oh,
just
okay,
woke
all
up
right,
thing's
well,
pretty
passive insight
genuine.
up. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, your go. But I would like to ask you about if you actually let me just ask you now, like before you go take watch, like do you worship anything? Well, not even just a god or an entity, just is there any worship there, or should I just put down NA for because you saw your name in there?
Well, whenever I was out in the sea, I prayed to the sea a lot for safe journeys.
Write this down. Great.
And
deity.
to
Let's see. You don't have to
I-
tell me all of it now. I just wanted to get that down. I do want to hear about it, but we should probably get on watch. But I do want to hear more about it later.
You should probably get some sleep.
After that, yeah.
Good
Good night.
night.
Goes into sleep.
Right.
Do I clock with my passive perception? Do I clock that Edmund was awake the whole time?
Kind of just sitting there meditating instead of like laying down. There's kind of like maybe like a mild side eye, but then eyes back closed, and it's just sort of probably an elf meditating nearby. Probably definitely heard at least that you were talking. May or may not
I
have
very
picked up.
quietly go. And then I go to bed.
Yeah,
to
during
myself.
during his watch,
yeah.
after he's still kind of thinking about all the shit that happened earlier in the day, and specifically whenever he brought up that light in their father's life or something like that, or that woman,
Mhm.
and at his thought of that, he would take out his amulet and kind of just look at it.
Yeah. Give me an investigation check.
Okay. 16 plus 4. That's dirty 20.
20 is quite good. Uh, there's something you look at this locket with this it's like onyx with like inlaid flakes of pearl to make like the outline of the face of a woman, and it's beautiful to look at here in the reflection, especially with like the starlight on the clear sky against the black backdrop really kind of looks in. And as you kind of look back and forth into that, you see a seam that you haven't seen before, and you kind of wedge your fingernail into it and it pops open. And on the interior there is a folded up like it's a fairly large amulet, but there's a 4 or 5 times over folded down piece of paper in the locket, and you didn't even know it had a little compartment in it before, but it does hinge open, and you have this little note, and you unfold it, and the first thing you see is Lynn at the end, just LYN as like the sign off, and it reads, "I can no longer bask in your darkness. The light calls to me," and just says Lynn, and it's a small note, and there is a second piece of paper behind it as you open that up, and it is a note of, "I will allow you your freedom from your contract, but only if you leave your light behind in your stead." And it says Thorn.
Marius is just kind of silent while inspecting all this. And he would slightly cry a little bit just at having something from his mother. But
As you do,
and now he's also wondering what Thorn is referring to whenever he means that light. And he has some things, but he probably knows, but he's just questioning what he means.
Yeah, hard to know without being able to ask.
Yeah.
As you all
And I feel like...
as you complete your long rest, you do have a piece of power now from your amulet that you did not have previously. So your spell save DC increases by 1, and you have a first level spell slot in the amulet, which you can use. You can use that slot or any other slots you have to cast Hex as a first level spell.
Goated spell, let's go!
Hex is such a good spell.
So you do have Hex from the amulet and a +1 to your spell save DCs.
That's cool.
Yep.
I don't know how to... I really need to learn how to use D&D Beyond's thing.
I haven't even
I'm just going to write that down for now.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll apply to both your racial spells that are a different spell DC than your like class spell stuff. So, but if it's +1 either way, although they have drastically different spell save stuff.
Yippee!
Yep. You all do wake up and kind of stretch and get your gear together, get armored up. There's another full day of riding before you're even within a day's ride of the tower. But I believe Finn has an offer to make to Luna.
Hey, Luna! Like immediately, like we're all ready. As soon as you wake up, I'm sitting next to you with my with the thing open. You like that?
I'm like stretching and then just.
I'm so sorry. I forgot.
What?
I wake up for everybody else. Hi. Do you mind if I asked you a couple of questions? If you do, then I will leave you alone. I promise.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Do you worship any gods or entities or demigods or what else? Concepts. Because some people worship concepts, which is a thing I learned last night. Which is cool.
I'm not gonna lie.
Just
It's
last
really
night I
early
learned-
for this question.
Sorry, do you want to wake up a bit more and then I can ask you again?
No, it's fine. I don't think there is, but if that changes, I'll let you know.
Okay. Writes down none at the moment under your just L dot with like a little cat face and then just writes none at the moment. Cool. And
Are
then
there
I
any other
will.
questions?
No, that was there were gonna be more questions if you had said yes and then told me what you worshipped, but that was it. That's cool. Sorry to bother you.
Okay.
And I like scoot.
No, you're good.
You can go back to sleep now. Sorry.
And the-
And I scoot over to Edmund.
No,
Hey,
she's
I'm like a little kid, like at the family. I'm like this. Finn's moment right now is just like the kid at the family reunion who finally gets to interact, like, like aunts and uncles that he's never seen before, and has like a list of questions that he wants to ask them.
You also had a task from your patron involving Luna.
Oh God, what was it? Sorry. Oh wait, I come back. I start to scoot to Edmund and I go, wait, Luna, I need you to.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
What the hell did he ask me? Shoot me and then shoot something else. Is that
It was shock you and then shoot. Actually, make a history check for me.
thing? Oh no, wait, sorry. It's the no. I remember. It was the shock me with the staff and then shoot something with her bow. Was that correct?
Just there was no staff mentioned, but yeah, it was shock you
Staff,
and then
sorry.
shoot something with her bow.
Cool. Actually, Luna, this is gonna sound weird, but trying out your cool new staff, can you use it to shock me and then immediately afterwards shoot something, hopefully not one of our friends, with your bow? It might hurt me, but I just want to see what happens. Don't ask where I got this from. It's a long story.
okay.
Okay.
I don't think I can shock with the staff. I've been trying to do a lot with it, but we're also still at the tent, so it's not there. But
Right.
I can do this cool thing with my bow where I
Yeah.
can shock you.
Okay, yeah, do that.
And then
Do it.
Cool.
okay, so I just take my bow and
Yeah,
I cast
roll an attack for shocking grasp.
It's not
Yeah.
hard. I've got like a 13 to hit, so can I give her
Well, it
advantage
was
by
a-
like by standing directly in front of her?
Right, you're just standing
Can
there.
I, can I fall prone?
Yeah.
I can't do that with my
what do I add
My
to
chain.
what do I add
So
to this?
proficiency bonus and your dexterity modifier.
Okay, so +5, which is fantastic because I rolled a 9, so
Hey,
14.
14
makes
is
it,
plenty.
yeah.
So we'll go ahead and roll damage for shock and grasp. Should be a D8.
Whee!
You don't add anything to it. It's just the D8.
Thank God my god is 16.
That's a solid 8.
8. There is a. You are unable to take reactions also, but you are
Yeah.
shocked for 8 lightning damage. And then go ahead and make an
that
attack
hurt.
roll with your bow. At like
No, it's cool, though.
anything. You go.
Sorry.
You see like a
It's a long
pheasant fly
shot,
up,
though.
and you're like breakfast.
Well,
So that's an 18.
18. That hits for sure.
What are you hitting?
Just like a morning pheasant that flew up to grab
Oh,
breakfast for the
breakfast.
crew. Yeah.
strange enough.
So while Finn is just
And
like
is that-
is convulsing with the electricity, you fire off the arrow. The sparks kind of cling and go on, and you hit the bird, and you see the electricity arc off of the bird like in random direct, like they're trying to find purchase on something. But the pheasant falls down to the ground from whatever your damage is. It's plenty for a pheasant. So you have unlocked your bow. So before you just had shock and grasp cantrip. It is now a +1 weapon, which also applies for your shock and grasp attacks.
Nice.
You also can use it at range to do shocking grasp. So you can shock and grasp at your first increment of bow range within that 60 feet.
Sweet.
Holy fuck!
So-
That's dope.
In
That's really
addition, it comes with lightning charges. So it every day at dawn it recharges your proficiency modifier number of lightning charges, and it can hold double your proficiency modifier. And the ability it currently has unlocked is that you can use a charge to shock and grasp something adjacent to someone you've just shot with the short bow. So you shoot
Kind of
them
like Green Flame Blade.
a little bit like Green Flame Blade, yeah. So you can
Green
burn a
Flame.
charge to shoot. If you shoot someone, you can burn a charge, and the electricity will basically hop off the arrow to hit an adjacent creature.
At higher levels, you could do that 12 times a day.
Yeah, it could be solid.
That's
That's wild.
It does
you
make
have a taser bow.
you do have a taser bow.
It's a
Awesome.
taser. Two creatures
Yeah.
per day. Amazing.
So yeah, you kind of have that option of choosing if you want to do the flat D8 +1 because the +1 will apply to the shock and grasp damage as well. But it's will you want to do lightning damage essentially at the range, or do you want to do the piercing damage, which then lets you do sneak attack and all that kind of jazz. So, but yeah,
okay.
I think I've got the actual details typed up in a Google Doc somewhere. But yeah, you have it awakened up. I think everyone has their magic item awakened at this point to be at its first stage. So,
Sweet.
yo,
So,
Finn is like, his hair is like slightly like,
yeah,
because he has very like long hair that kind of goes down
Mhm.
back, but some of the like shorter hairs in the front,
yeah.
still flyaways. It's like, that was exactly as
Marius
painful as I was
was
expecting. That was cool though.
Marius and Finn are just going to braid each other's hair one day.
Yeah.
Yep, very cool.
Anyway, Edmund.
Luna just like
but
Luna just like saunters over to this fully cooked pheasant that got electrocuted.
Yeah.
you did it. Is it gonna taste like ozone?
Yeah, a little
It
ozone
just
taste
turns
to it.
into like a full rotisserie chicken, complete with plate.
Yeah.
You transformed it. Yeah. I am gonna. Okay, cool. I'm like, that was really cool, Luna. Thank you for
Yeah.
taking off literally a third of my head voice. It's not a joke, by the way.
Yeah. It does also. It kind of irritates the
my
arthritis a bit. It's a little bit like a thunderstorm is coming in. You kind of feel it a little bit.
My knees felt it before my body felt
It's
it.
just
And I
what
was
I-
like, oh no.
Oh no! I know what this is.
With it. It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Even though I saw it coming, I was like, cool. I'm gonna go up to Edmund and be like, hey, Edmund, don't mind the fact
Hey,
that I've
are
got.
you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. That was cool. Did you see what Luna did? That was really cool. Can I ask you a couple questions?
Yes.
Maybe one
absolutely.
depending on your answer.
Depending.
Okay. Right. I take out my notebook and I say, do you worship any gods, deities, concepts, figures?
I'm not particularly familiar with the gods of the material plane.
Okay.
We didn't have gods back in the Feywild, so putting the idea of worshiping some kind of elevated being doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I think the closest, because you did mention the idea of worshiping a concept. I think
Sure,
the
yeah.
closest thing that I could attribute that to would be the idea of freedom.
Ooh,
The
cool. Write that
the
down.
yeah, the being able to make your own choices, essentially.
with
Which
that.
I understand. I understand it also includes the choice to worship another being.
Well, sure, but you don't want to be tied down by anything that you don't consent to, is what I'm getting, yeah?
Yeah, no,
That's cool. And starts sort of writing that down. It's just like, what do you do, like, daily to contribute to this, I guess, faith in a weird way?
Well, this. And he kind of like gestures again to the mask, like fucking get a new personality trait.
Good one. So it's
Yeah, it's pretty much.
this is your expression. That's cool.
I
Write that
take
down.
on this. I take on this form more as. It sounds presumptuous, but I do enjoy the idea of being an agent of this concept. You know.
I think that's cool as shit, actually. I actually think that doing that is more admirable than false, which is kind of against my whole thing. But that's cool. Thank you for sharing. Any other thoughts you have on that, or is that pretty much it?
I mean, if you have any follow-up questions, I'm almost always happy to answer.
Not at the moment, but thank you. That's that actually kind of answers some questions that I had about you. That's really cool. Thank you for telling me that. Also, the mask looks really cool, by the way. I mean, I think I already
I'm
said that.
still, I'm still waiting for your, what kind of mask you'd like me to make for you.
Yeah, can you? Well, I did say something from the Feywild. Maybe like a satyr. I don't know if you
Satyr.
can do horns, but like those funky little guys with the goat legs.
I can
Yeah.
do a ram.
Oh, yeah,
Something
sure.
along those lines. Yeah.
But like okay, now that I think about it, that just sounds like a tiefling if it's a human face. But okay, yeah, a ram sounds cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you. That's cool.
Of course.
And I close my journal and I put it back in my bag. Oh, I was gonna follow up with. Sorry, I feel like I'm dominating the conversation right now. I'm sorry.
I just want
I'm just really
to make
excited.
sure. Did you want me
Yes.
to roll to make that mask for what's his face, Greg, or is it just like cool? I made it.
No, yeah, give me it'd be a tools check. So you would use your dexterity, and if you're proficient with woodcarver's tools, you'd add your proficiency modifier.
I am because of trance.
Ooh.
That's cool.
19.
19's excellent. Doesn't take a huge amount of time, especially if you're not going to like sand it and all that kind of thing. You leave it a little rough, especially on the face thing, to almost work as facial hair. A little bit of just like slight like coal burning and stuff makes it like a 5 o'clock shadow kind of thing going on, and it is it's just some guy as a mask. You find Greg like leaning on a nearby tree, and it's one of those like having like a morning pee or whatever, but it's clearly just him that he's making it look like that. It's just like more ooze that then like pulls back up into him. He's just making it look like he was taking a leak. And it's just sort of one of the, oh hi, just a normal human man doing my human man things. Is that my mask? Oh,
It's a work in progress. I haven't painted it yet,
I
but
think it's
this
great.
is kind of what I expect it to look like.
I think it's pretty good. Here, can I? All right.
Yeah, of course.
My name's Gregory. Oh,
That's not uncanny at all.
this is amazing. You call me a human man, Gregory. This is amazing. I'm gonna go have some bad opinions and make sure everyone knows them. All right. Yeah. All right. I think I got it.
Edmund is a man who has definitely dealt with like trickery and illusions before,
Mhm.
but for some reason, the fact that it's so lackluster, like so half-assed, makes it so much worse, so much more horrifying.
Actually, if it was pristine, it'd probably be deeply disturbing. If it was like
It'd probably be very
perfectly
uncanny.
done, you know. You hit that uncanny valley, and it'd be really bad. At the moment, it's just someone wearing a mask to make themselves kind of look like a person. But yeah, you'll all see Greg get up on the wagon. It's like, hi everyone, I would like to be known as Gregory. Well, actually, I don't know about that. I'm not committing to it fully, but I'm going to go by Gregory for a little while. Is that all right?
Hell yeah,
Can I
dude.
call you Greg for short?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that.
Okay, cool.
That's so great. I'm Gregory. Greg for short. People that are my
I'm Gregory.
friends, such as you all, can call me Greg for short. All right. But I am Gregory. But call me Greg. So nothing's changed.
You got it.
How do we got that sword?
All right. Yes. I feel good about this.
You're doing great, Greg.
You all get moving forward a little bit.
Even Greg. Sorry.
Finn, probably like mid-morning, moving forward a little bit, you catch a glint of something on a hillside, and you kind of remember seeing something shiny in the night. And you do see, it looks like there is a shiny, almost like golden, pristine shield that is like half buried in the hillside.
I'm gonna like kind of walk up to, well, not walk up, but like kind of move up to Greg, who's like pulling the donkeys and leading the donkeys, and to just go, "Hey, Greg, can we make a pit stop There's something shiny up on that hill.
Oh yes,
I
as
don't
a
know
human
if it's
man, I
crocodile.
also need to find a large arboreous structure in order to relieve myself. So I totally understand. All right.
Sure.
pulls
Yes, we can
just
do that
pulls the
too.
wagon over and he goes, I'm gonna go over to that one over there. Nobody come near because I'm self-conscious about it. He gets off the wagon to go.
He's
I came
literally
up to you
inventing his
this morning.
personality.
That won't be a problem.
I appreciate the commitment to the
Greg-
bit, Greg.
Greg is filling out his own character sheet verbally.
Yeah,
He is like writing his ideals, his personality traits, his flaw, his bond. It's all that's just doing in real
Just working
time.
it out. Yeah,
for him.
it's just a
Yeah.
blob. I've met guys like this. They're just a blob trying to figure themselves out.
Do this sometimes. I've noticed. I've been in their heads enough.
yeah.
And I'll turn to the others after I've requested that from Greg. And last night on watch, I saw something shiny. It might be a trap. It's probably a trap, but it's gold and it's like a shield. It's like half buried, and I want to go check it out.
You had me
Awesome,
at
yeah.
shiny.
Cool.
Mhm.
Luna's on board.
I'll accompany you if you want.
I mean, I prefer
mean,
not to
if
go
you
by
feel like you
myself.
need that-
If
Yeah,
it is
if
a
you need
trap,
the
I'm gonna
extra
get.
protection.
Yes, please. If y'all would come with.
And there
Also, I
it's
don't want to leave the cart unattended.
yeah. Well, it's not far.
Well,
Also, it's like 50
right
feet off
here.
the road. It's it's not a huge trek. It's actually a really almost conspicuous like kind of spot where there's just this big golden shield. Maybe a third in the ground.
Uh,
And it's just sticking up completely
suspicious.
pristine
Can
and
I-
shiny, and there's not a scratch
yeah.
on it as far as you can tell. So everyone kind of approaches.
Is there? Can I don't want to ask to make a check, but like
Mhm.
pretty much, can I make some kind of wisdom check to like get the vibe?
Sure, I would say make a
Check for
perception
traps.
check, just to, because there seems to be a trap suspicion basically. So kind of look around, see if this is an ambush or whatnot.
Oh, that was so close to being a 20.
Mhm.
Dirty 20? Yes. No. 21.
21.
Nice.
You are very confident that there's no like ambush. You can see the bushes nearby are too short for like anybody to be hiding behind. The nearest tree, other than the one that Greg is at, is like a couple 100 feet away. Completely unrealistic to do any kind of ambush.
Yeah.
You are quite confident there's no. You look at the dirt, you don't see any like trapdoors or anything. So you're very confident there's no ambush that's about to pop up.
Just an inconspicuous shield.
Just
Okay.
a shield. It looks like the grass is. It's not like fresh. It didn't just happen. It like maybe been there for a day or so. The grass has had time to kind of like adjust and like refold back and be in line with all the other grass around.
Okay. Can I make an investigation check to investigate the shield a bit?
You can, yeah. Are you specifically looking for traps, or are you looking for?
I just kind of want to see like if there's any discerning markers as to what the shield could be.
Mhm.
If there's like any discerning marks as to like maybe this used to belong to someone that was a certain allegiance to like
Got
a
some
kingdom
kind of markings or something on
or
it.
a
Yeah,
creed.
sure. Yeah, make an
something like
investigation check.
that. And then if it has a trap, I guess I'm fucked.
But yeah, it's just
I'm
a
not-
close.
I probably wouldn't be good at to check for traps
Yeah.
either because Marius has never really had to do that before. So
Right. But yeah, make an investigation.
30-20.
Dirty 20. There are elven runes that are inscribed on it in an arc over the top in the part that is visible.
I cannot speak Elvish.
You
I
do
speak
recognize the Elvish though, and you have an Elvish
I do too.
companion. You can be like, "Hey, what's it say?"
It's like, hey, I think this is Elvish. Not to just assume, but Edmund, you're sort of elven-like, right?
Yeah. You're elfy. As the
in a manner of
elfiest
speaking,
elf
yeah.
is, yeah.
The manners.
Yeah, you come up. You
Sorry,
can,
that
Or
was
is it, like,
rude.
still in the ground.
yeah, you can read it. It is, it's still in the ground. The arc that's visible, reads, magical shield of defense, exposed to moonlight, while alone. and is just like it's just in Elven like how to activate this magic shield.
Oh, it must have been
Oh.
glowing because the moon was out. Was the moon out?
Moon was out. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes, it also makes me think that someone left it here on purpose. It specifically says when alone, so it makes me think. Yeah,
How close
someone
are
left
we
it here to activate it, and then wanted to come back, and we just happened to come across it first.
Oh yeah,
Perhaps.
maybe it's.
Are we close
Yeah.
to like any landmarks or buildings or something like that? Like how close are we to the tower?
Not really. Not your full day ride away from the tower. You're kind of middle
This
of nowhere.
makes no sense then.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So,
Hmm.
are we taking the shiny shield?
I'm
Are
worried it's
we
trapped.
leaving the
I'm not. I don't think it's.
I mean,
I suppose we could just leave a note and be like, "Hey, if you lost your shield, find us at Lightminster."
Someone else is gonna find that, and a bad guy is gonna come track us.
That is also a possibility.
It's also clearly visible
I
from the
mean,
road. So
It's
the next
it's
person to come by is
mid-morning,
going to
right?
see it. Yeah.
Wait, Jeff, sorry, can you say that again?
It's clearly visible
what?
from the road, so the
Right.
next person that comes by is going to see it,
Yeah.
and then
That's true.
pick it up or whatever they're going to do with it.
I'm with Luna.
mean-
Maybe we should just take it.
I mean, hey, say la vie, and I'll try to rip the shield from the ground.
Sure. Give me a strength check.
Sure. Strength, just a flat strength check?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter. 8.
8. I mean, it's heavier than you expected, because it's a thick, like inch to half inch thick, like gold shield. So it takes some effort, but you eventually do get it up. And are you just putting it on and carrying it, or are you just throwing it on a back?
Sure.
Or
I'll equip it.
Sure.
I'll get a feel for it.
yeah, you get it on. It's a fully functional shield. It is on your arm, ready to go. The one thing I would have.
whose
No,
shield
really
are we
not.
taking?
I'm gonna have everyone roll initiative.
Oh my lord.
We want to do trapping.
Yay! I was hoping something bad would happen.
Me though. Why does that feel like?
Honestly, not gonna lie, I was fully expecting, like, I mean, it's an
Hey, DM.
regular shield buried in the ground.
Right.
DM, does a natural 20 explode on an initiative roll? Or
Sure.
is that just for skill checks?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
100% does.
Oh my god.
Holy shit! That's a 40 for initiative.
So I suppose
So
again, or if
do
you
it.
I rolled a 20 and then I rolled a 19.
19, nice.
So it's my initiative, which is +1, it's a 40.
40. Okay, I'm guessing the other people are below that.
Who wants to go first?
Yeah.
He's on first.
Insane. Unbelievable. I rolled a 13.
Nice.
Before we do anything, can I go to a restroom real quick?
Sure. We're actually gonna wrap in like a minute, but
Yeah.
if you, we're just getting initiative for
Activate
the effect. But
I'm at a 14.
14, and then Marius
Marius is at a 9.
9. All right. Finn, you are still surprised because nothing's happened yet. But you are the first to recognize what's happening as the shield transforms as teeth come out of the inside of it and clamp down to attack as the mimic animates itself to attack. And we'll call it there and pick up next time with the mimic shield currently equipped. Is gonna start
I knew
fighting.
it's other fishing.
All right.
Me with a third of my hit points. Sorry.
I'm gonna hit stop
I'm not
recording.
surprised.
But yeah, we'll close the episode there. But we'll chat some more here in a sec. So, till next time, take some extra steps. Get your steps in. Bye.